my gamers, my dear gear enthusiasts. It is Sunday nearing 5 p.m. CET, and that means the weekly Bounty Hunters is just about to ready to get started too. So for the next 3 hours, we'll be settling 7 show matches shown on the screen currently. The event has no skill bracket restrictions and is open for everyone to participate, but of course the matchmaking team is working tirelessly to make every match as even as possible so that we can enjoy as many nail biters as possible here. The name of the game is Guilty Gear Strive, and the format is first to 7 wins. I'm your usual host QK, and now let's get this party started. So the two trends recently are that we're having a decent influx of RAM matchups. One of the culprits for that is, of course, Civ joining the roster recently, bringing her, I guess, second sub main? Second, I guess Civ is like half 50-50, like Sin and RAM, but you know, definitely a huge percentage of the RAM participation as of recent, but also random select matches. One of the set random matches will happen at the end of the evening today between Icarus and Kitty. That would be a Norwegian, Norwegian infight. And I believe today we're removing duplicates from the random pool per the players' requests. We can of course do it in a couple of different ways. Some pairs choose to, you know, have duplicates so that same character can occur multiple times, or just remove the random characters from the pool altogether. We're doing no duplicates this time. Yeah. Let's see what else. Making their debut on our humble little event today will be, let's see, starting from the top, we got IE, or is it AE? IE? Damn, I'm actually not sure of the proper pronunciation. Maybe the person herself can help correct me as we go later. Ramlethal, but also Dark Eightful Faust, Ifrit Axel. Good to see Axel rep in the modern patches. I think it's actually been probably a pretty long time since we've seen Axel in Bounty Hunters. I keep telling you guys about, you know, all these characters that we haven't had too many a times. But I think Axel might be currently, like, especially since we've been having so many RAM players recently, Axel is probably at the top of the least played characters, with Saul, I think. Really interesting duo there. But also Freygarr Jacko, as well as, let's see, MisterPanda Leo. I think those are our newcomers of the evening. Big thanks also to Wizard for hopping in to substitute on a short notice in the number 1 matchup slot. And if I had to take a guess, our first matchup of the evening will probably be one of the most even ones. My matchmaker's intuition compels me to exclaim so. Although, we are playing fighting games, which is famous for a lot of fluctuations, variables, stuff like that when it comes to competitive integrity. Is that the right word? Not integrity, but sort of your performance on the day of the competition. Your mental state has a huge bearing on the outcome, not just, you know, who's arguably or theoretically the best player. That's what makes, you know, games like this very enjoyable to watch. Lots of, and especially with Strive, I think there's a lot of uncertainty factors when you go into events like these. I guess a little less than double elimination brackets because, you know, it's up until 7 wins. So generally, I would say the stronger player usually wins. But that's why we try to matchmake in the same skill bracket so that it's hard to say who's gonna be the winner ahead of time. But yeah, let's see. Let me actually, now that we have a silent moment, I guess it's gonna be silent if I make it so. If I stop talking, it's gonna be silent. Let me call the first pair into the lobby. Let's see. Let's do the cards and pull out this. It's always a mix-up which wizard are we pinging, because we have multiple wizards on the Discord. I think it's this one. Our ID as well. Right, I think that should be most of the preparations ready. Although I think, yeah, we still gotta do a couple of those. Fuck it, we'll do it live adjustments. I think we still didn't get the power tiers from Maria, aka Icarus. So we'll probably have to fit that in before Icarus's and Thunderkid's match, but that should be no problem. We are used to this. We're used to stuff going wrong. We're used to happy little accident. We're used to all kinds of bumps in the road, and that makes it beautiful. All right, so Bike It versus Happy Chaos. This match, I think we haven't had too many times. Baiken is one of those characters who are probably a little bit more susceptible to the zoning of Happy Chaos, or actually, like, it's not necessarily zoning, it's more like neutraling nowadays, because this character does not really zone in the modern patches. The way that this character was introduced first was you could sort of keep rolling your steady aim shots, guard crush the opponent, get bullets back, and it would take a lot of time for the opponent to approach you. There was a sort of a meta game where are you gonna react to the Happy Chaos charging more resources than what they technically should be allowed to, but even if you read that, you would be only able to approach Happy Chaos just a little. It's very different in the modern patches where Happy Chaos kind of has to commit to those mix-ups as soon as you get a gunshot in, because you just can't maintain your resources anymore in the patches nowadays. So you see much more dynamic play coming out of Happy Chaos, where you usually, best case scenario, you would land a normal on the opponent. Even a block is fine. That means that your reticle is gonna latch onto then 100%. You don't have to roll the dice. Generally, like if you try to take a hip shot, that means you have roughly, I think, 1 out of 3 chance to hit immediately. But if your opponent is in block stun, such as if you made them block normal, that means your gun's shot is gonna connect every single time. That means you can go airtight, mix up position, high-lows, strike throws, left strikes, whatever your heart desires. There's a lot of different things that Happy Chaos can do to you. And then we got Baiken. Baiken sort of wants to be as close as possible, preferably you in frame disadvantage or the Kabari tether attached, so that all her hits, like so, all of her hits are gonna convert into much more damage, even meterless that way. Of course, when you do have the meter, you have the classic instant overhead TK Yozan, or you could do Yozan like Lusu just did. Ooh, nice, that was kind of cool. Rolling under the super. Lusu actually went for the gunshot super immediately after getting the resources for it. Dropping the opponent in the corner. I think Wizard was a little short on resources there. Could have really used the Deus Ex Machina, which does reload your gun completely. But now working with 1 bullet and a dream. Ooh, just in the nick of time, got the reload off and the steady shot. The last shot goes for pressure, won't be able to convert it into anything realistic. So when you get in this tough situation where you're either very low on bullets or your concentration, you can fix those with super. Nice 6p. Oh, the curse ball still goes in the wrong direction. No worry, we throw another one. Curse applied. This time Lusu won't be able to run away. However, there's too much gap between the strike and the 5D, or rather the gunshot and the 5D the Wizard was trying to play. There's of course a lot of agency for the player, how much of a gap you want to give the opponent. You can play those, of course, airtight if you want. For the gun mechanic is sort of like autonomous from the main body itself. It's like the body performs strikes and the hand autonomously performs shots, if you will. It's a very interesting kind of mechanic. Ooh, to the other side, Lusu chooses to burst immediately, wants to end it here, but let's see what Wizard has to say about that. A little for, ooh, was actually able to get the tension positive bonus here. Was that what I saw correctly? I think Wizard got the positive bonus there without using Gold Burst or Wall Break. I was talking shit and I kind of missed it, but... What must have been the longest range jump slash into gunshot I've ever seen. Now Lusu's time to shine. We are in the striking distance. Misses with the cover, that means Wizard has an opportunity. Ooh, still got the punish there. Could have probably prepped something bigger. However, this throw will whiff, which means we're open to the gun. Interesting situation. If the timing of the throw was a little later, I think you should be able to throw the startup of the gun there, which is like rather slow and doesn't really have any relevant invulnerabilities whatsoever. With bar slash counter hit, immediate burst. You see fast bursts like this from like especially soft characters and characters who enjoy a lot of keep away. There was way too much slowdown there. Wizard tried to go for a throw again but misses. First world problems. The opponent is still inactionable. Now reversal super. I think Wizard didn't have the gun out there, which would make you unable to block, but was probably committing to something else at the time. Ooh, brave challenge there on the Yozan. Depending on the height where you connect it, it could be plus, it could be minus. This time looks like Lusu is able to make it plus enough to connect with the 5B afterwards. And now, the 6P works out once again. Definitely something that you want to have on point against Baiken, because Baiken, as we discussed, not necessarily the strongest neutral character, would just love to be close to you. She would like to skip the neutral if possible by doing instant air as jump slash or other similar tricks. So having your anti-airs on point, especially with a neutral-oriented character like Happy Chaos against Baiken, very, very important. Ooh, into... Trying to double it up with another roll there. Double, oh my god, and again, catches the drive-by instant air dash with a 6P, albeit to the wrong direction, but as they say, as the old Chinese wise men said, if you shove yourself into the air anti-air hitbox, it is your own fault. We're getting a lot of these wall sticks up there. 2 bullets in the chamber should be enough to get at least some sort of a knockdown here. We tried to commit without any bullets. Interesting. Now Wizard might be in trouble here despite the massive life lead. Get blast drive. Nice smash through the blue wild assault, which is generally, I think, the slower version between like red and blue, which are the wild assaults that you tend to see in pressure sequences. Wizard says, nah, I don't think that setup is tight at all. Just presses 5P, gets out of there, runs out of concentration again. This is tough. And one more good deflect shield. And a good interception as well. The jump beep, immediate gun comes out. However, I think Wizard already took out the gun there, so there was no way to disengage that mode. That gunshot from Baiken was basically destined to land on Wizard's head at that point. I wonder, I can't remember how many frames it actually takes for you to press 5 heavy and put away the gun and exit the stance. I think it is still like a couple of frames, right? So in these, you know, super fast situations post-flash, it might be just impossible for you to take off the gun. Unless you have like... Does RC even disable it? I don't think so. We got shots, we got the resources being taken care of nicely for Wizard. Shuffling those bullets. And as soon as you see the opponent respecting a little bit too much, no dash blocking from the side of Lussu, Wizard is like, alright, you're not intercepting me, I'll just get a couple of extra resources, get that full chamber of bullets, go from there. Excellent, excellent stuff. Technically, if the opponent tries to engage you, it's very hard to get more than a couple of bullets per reload. From that throw, we get to the mix-up position. Oh, okay, just going into an empty, another empty. No immediate mix-ups inside. Might have been a missed input of some sort. It does take it takes a little bit of extra. Ooh, backdashing here. Is that already recovered? No, it's still in recovery. Wizard gets tapped out of that, and we have 100 to cash out. Good presence of mind there for Lussu. Technically, theoretically, a really, really dangerous backdash there. When you see your opponent with 100 meter, and if they have a... I think everybody has a relevant reversal super in the game, except Happy Chaos himself, right? But either way, with that 100 meter, it's really likely that your opponent is gonna unleash that big 100 meter reversal super RC into a PRC if it whiffs. Sorry, super into a PRC if it whiffs. Ooh, the last bullet gets the wall stick, however. No break. 2 bullets in the chamber. That should be enough to get this knockdown here. Let's see how we utilize it. Take it to the wall. Ooh, but again, really good sense here on the reversal. Try to reach for the meaty with the 2S. But Lussu, ready to take advantage of the situation. I think optimally, you would combo... I don't, like... I'm not up to date on Happy Chaos' combo routes, but optimally, of course, you would, from all of your hits, whenever you have 50 meter, try to get a wall stick so that you can at least get one of those resources fixed. Usually the bullets, because the bullets are... I guess the bullets are the more acute kind of thing to take care of. They will not come back to you over time like the concentration does. So once you're very low, you're gonna be low unless you can interact with that reload mechanic. Again, really good 6p here. Sees the neutral jump slash, get the 6p, get the round. Yep, once again ready. However, it's of course a sort of a calculation between risk and reward. Nice stand there on the overhead. Lussu tried to go for the reaction check, but Wizard is like, nah, young reactions here. Don't you even try. Oh, for a moment I thought that was actually a goat burst, but ended up being a YRC. That works too. Went bust for a moment. That means a couple more seconds and concentration will come back. We just got an opportunity to, like, even if you do go bust, you can still do your normal concentration input and that will help you recover a little bit. One bullet. Stops the instant air dash, however, in the aftermath of that situation, Lussu being extremely aggressive. Oh, and the concentrated... Well, what's that? Steady aim gunshot comes through, stopping Lussu out of the dash block. It's of course a little bit of a mini-game, as we've had since the inception of Happy Chaos. How far are you gonna try to dash? Because like Happy Chaos can leave you like different gaps between the shots depending on how many resources he wants to use. Ooh, being sneaky there, Wizard. Sneaks in the full reload, and again, these are the kind of things that if you stay too passive, Happy Chaos can just prompt to just recharge the resources back. And technically, if you try to recharge too many bullets, too much concentration, the opponent dashing at you will be a huge threat. Just like a character who has already accelerated their dash will be pretty hard for your reticle to latch onto. There we go, starting with this classic El Clasico round start jump, instant air dash jump slash, which will be anti-aired by Wizard once again. The further this set has progressed, the Wizard has sort of attained more concentration, more control over the volatility that is Bike. And ooh, trick shot behind. Of course, as long as the reticle has attached itself, you should be able to shoot anywhere on the screen. Able to recover in time. Do not get attacked by the gunshot. Good check there. 2P. Doesn't let Wizard run in for the throw, but does it this time. And I think for the first time, Wizard is gonna be on the driver's seat, hopping on the front seat of that car here. Thematically correct. We are in there. 3-2. The set is slowly starting to warm up, and so is Wizard. Those anti-airs are just perfectly on point. I was about to make a point about the consistency of your anti-airs and the damage that the opponent can do from successful jump-ins. Let me see what's up. I think there is some stuff going on here. So did I actually miscount? And did Lusso already have 3 points, or? So I think there's a little bit of an existential crisis here. Trying to check what the players want to do with this. Okay, looking like we have a concede then from the side of Lusso. Unfortunate, but it is what it is, and that means we're gonna hop on to the next match. Which would be the first player making their debuts today. I think we have quite a few. One of them would be, again, the name that sort of eludes me. Is it like, do you pronounce the I's at the after like A? So is it like AE or just A, or damn? If you think about English, how English is pronounced, everything becomes complicated. I.e. That's the correct one? Alright. I'll try to engrave that into my soul and my memory. Alright, so this one would be Simpy on Leo. So Simpy is one of our super new players and also like rather new to Guilty Gear Strive as well, as far as I've understood. Has been shopping around for potential character for a while. Started... What character did Simpy play last week? I think it was Baiken on his first match, and now revving up that Leo Whitefang. And I kind of like this because Leo was an excellent choice. In the previous game, Leo was probably one of the most beginner-friendly characters to pick up. Problem was, in Exit, Leo was sort of had a lot of really difficult matchups and was sort of, even though it was technically easy to pilot, was super hard to play in the end. But in Guilty Gear Strive, Leo has kind of maintained the relatively easy to pick up and play kind of functionality, but also now that Mr. Whitefang is quite strong in the meta of all of it. It's easy to it's an easy character to recommend to just about, you know, players of any skill level. Has been a staple of the competitive scene for a very long time. We've seen many Leo players take many tournaments. Evergreen character, excellent pick. Let's see how Simpy likes to pilot this one. I think probably, like, if we compare the technicality between Leo and Baiken, Baiken has a lot of set play, meaning if you screw up your combos, if you screw up your setups, you're gonna lose a lot of value. Whereas Leo is more like, yeah, as long as you can kind of do your combo, it's probably gonna be okay. Because this character has some neutraling potential. You know, combos are pretty simple. Not necessarily like the most complex setup character in the game. The best that you want to do is usually be in back turn stance, pressuring the opponent, and to achieve that, it's not the hardest thing in the world. But of course, the back turn stance itself does have some difficulties attached, just like Happy Chaos in the match that we were watching earlier. You cannot block when you are in Leo's back turn stance, so it requires a little bit of finesse, especially against opponents who can wake up with a reversal DP or reversal super. Luckily, the opponent is piloting Ramlethal here, and Ramlethal notably does not have a DP in her repertoire. If you want a reversal with this character, it's Universal Mechanics or her reversal super, the Morto Pato. Which efficacy nowadays depends also on the amount of swords you have left. I think still extremely powerful reversal in terms of damage and reach when you have both of your swords equipped, but reduced in value if you are missing one or both. Alright, and into the heat of battle we go. It's an interesting skill tier as well. Technically, there are a lot of players around you know, in the rookie skill bracket. But the thing is, those players usually engage with the game in slightly more casual manner and wouldn't be primary suspects to maybe apply for events such as this, or, you know, standard double elimination brackets, for instance. So we tend to have fewer, like, smaller player pool of players playing in the rookie bracket. So players such as this might have difficulties, like, even if they want to participate, even if they want to play a lot, it can sometimes be a little hard to find a suitable opponent. Are we doing good here? Is it Strive Earth moment? We did have a please wait there at the start, so I wonder if IE just dropped out of the game during that. Is it a desync? Looking like this is gonna be a super scuffed, super cursed bounty hunters to start out with. So it looks like it's some kind of a disconnect or desync. So the thing is, like, I've never. This is the first time I actually see anything like this. Other than, like, if it's a desync, usually players still sort of stay in the game with the different game states. So it just is a match that looks really funky. But this is the first time I see somebody sort of disconnect at the match initiation screen. And then the match starts, but the match, like, never ends. Very, very, very peculiar. Anyway, let's try that again. See if we can get a good match here. Right, another try. Fingers crossed. Got the smoking new players. Oh, again, no. Don't say it is so. We had this last time as well. Is this where IE just disconnects? What kind of black magic is this? Ooh, I haven't changed the scoreboard. Thank you. I wonder if I even have to change the scoreboard at this rate, because not sure what kind of issue we're working with here. Do we have to immediately go for the forbidden technique? Make one of the players host the room? What usually happens from my experience is that when players sort of can't connect to each other, they also cannot see each other in the room. Right, sorry, we're settling the technical difficulties here. So we are are going to attempt to make, or have one of the players make the room. See if that fixes things. Frankly, I'm not sure why this sometimes fixes it, but you know, it is what it is. All right, we got the room.
Welcome.
All right, double fingers crossed. Let's see if it's time for Kill to Gear. Finally, first time in 10,000 years. All right, please, our Lord and Savior Daisuke. No way, no shot. Well, I guess it's for some reason not meant to be. I've never seen a problem like this before, and I have no idea how to fix it either. So the problem is not the lobby, looks like. I guess next we can try to make the players reboot their games. That might help. So let me craft another room. Let's make it same ID as before, so that I have to do the least amount of work.
Welcome.
And if this doesn't work, then I mean, I guess we just gotta take a double L and head to the third matchup slot of the evening. I guess technically, like, one way how I view these events is that it's not that something might go wrong, usually something will go wrong on average. So by having like decent amount of matches per event, even if, you know, shit hits the fan a couple of times, you still have a decent amount of matches lined up for a nice competitive end of the week. All right, we got the players back. Now, once more, all right, here's to hoping. Definitely, first time ever we've seen this screen, first time ever these players load in. And it's just not meant to be. It is what it is. It is what it is. I guess we get to figure out if it's actually like just the servers completely. I mean, we had a pair playing earlier just fine, so I'm very doubtful that it is the server's problem this time around. It's just probably some sort of weird routing issue or something. All right, that means we are reaching for the third slot of the evening, third time's the charm. I hope this doesn't mean that we're reaching the last matchup slot too early, because I think Maria had some time constraints or specific timings that she needed her match to be started. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. Let's not worry about it too much. Let's just see how it goes. Next one would be Dark Eightful and Ifrit. Okay, so we've had a lot of Faust versus like other keep away characters as of recent. We've seen like Faust, Batman, we've seen Faust, Johnny, we've seen Faust, Nago, we've seen Faust. Faust versus a lot of Faust Jacko. That's the one that we've been having the most recently. But Faust Axel, I think, it's been a while since we've had that. Of course, when the match sort of devolves into a full screen, like a true absolute full screen, that means Axel isn't gonna have, you know, poke range to you immediately, which could potentially mean that you can take out some items as Faust. And those items, if you get something really nasty like, say, little guys, meteors, even like from certain distances, hammers as well, those 10-ton weights, or is it 1,000-ton weights? I forgot how heavy those are actually, but getting the right item could swing the sort of the pace of the neutral just completely. And I mean, it's not like Faust is very bad at range either. It's just that Axel is generally considered the poster boy zoner character of the franchise. And I think if there is a character that you can call zoner in Guilty Gear, it's like very few characters actually can, because of the sort of the nature of this game. Axel is probably the only sort of pure character that you can play as very Street Fighter-ish. As in, you're just like really annoying to approach and you just don't let the opponent approach ever. You might not do the biggest damage combos, but, you know, stuff starts to mount up eventually, just like how, you know, for example, Dalsing does it in Street Fighter. But of course, because this is Guilty Gear, you also have like your zoner, quotation zoner characters do have ability to go aggressive as well. And speaking of being aggressive here, starting that on defense, setting up a command grab, and finishing the round from basically Dark Eightful having like around half of their life. But then one successful reversal super into a command grab just completely swings it to the other way. Nice 5B actually, interrupting the mix. But like we talked about, the little guy being the combo breaker or perhaps the neutral wrecker here. Big 5 heavy. It's gonna be first world problems, a little bit too much of a bounce. But able to teleport to the other side, get a close slash counter hit, another counter hit in the form of 6 heavy, and wham bam, especially in the corner, we're definitely cashing out. 1 round apiece, starting it by drilling into the pressure sequence. Now this is kind of tough for Axel, because Axel doesn't necessarily have a lot of like good defensive tools. I guess you could consider his 5-framer, which is his 2K, a really nice button to press on defense, and it is. But other than that, ooh, a little bit greedy there, revving up the tornado, because this character that you're playing against, Faust, does have a teleport, can teleport behind you. It is a little bit slow, but so are a lot of your, you know, tools such as the tornado or Rensen even. If you read a Rensen and the opponent, you know, doesn't have meter to cancel, you could feasibly on a raid just teleport behind your opponent and get a punish like that. But the first one goes to Ifrit's account. But it's been very back and forth. Dark Eightful has gotten opportunities to get in and has been very effective from those opportunities as well. Almost air dashes over the tornado. However, the tall hitbox means that most characters have probably a lot of difficulties trying to overcome it just by jumping over. I think the best counter strategy that most characters have, if you have something that can reach really far and has disjoints, you can kind of poke through the tornado. But I mean, Faust, we've seen it time and time again. I think that this was the third time, just teleporting at the most opportune moment, at the most opportune timing, getting a big counter hit starter, and just carrying opponent to the corner. 75 meter into tank as well. Ifrit does take the round start here. Waiting for the burst potentially. Dark Eightful, very nice amount of delay here. Plays the teleport this time with the use of PRC. So BRC makes it a little harder to do stuff against it. Shortens your recovery as well as, you know, slows the time for the opponent. Oh, again, there are just a lot of tools from Axel's toolkit that you can't just fire. You can't just fire up if the Faust player is primarily looking to teleport against those tools. And again, are we teleporting this time? Not this time. So there is such thing as trying to teleport too late. Because like if the Axel has already released the tornado and you're teleporting after that, they might just, you know, they might be waiting for the counterplay. They might be waiting for you to teleport into that position and then instead get a big starter themselves. So 2 for Ifrit. There we go. That's the disjoint tool that we've been talking about. So you don't necessarily have to commit to the teleport. I mean, I guess teleport is rather slow, so it would usually have to be very, very... you would need to have pretty good reaction times. But as far as the Rerere, or whatever that's called, the thrusting move is called in Guilty Gear Strive, I guess with that one you can be a little more preemptive. Oh, colliding with the little guy. Oh, a big counter hit teleports into, not the cleanest pickup, but we have the opponent in the corner. And now looking for that one more hit with the extended hurt box of the Afro will make it so much more easier to connect that jump D from Faust. Which is a very deep jumping move, but cannot be connected on the way up when you're just starting your jump unless the Afro is installed. Let's see, Ifrit misses their meaty opportunity, but it's not a big deal. You're more about the neutral game anyway, so if you lose your Oki, you still have, you know, cards up your sleeve. See if Dark Eightful is still recovering out of something, so gonna be taking this reversal super. It's the classic formula, reversal super. Ooh, but nice teleport and nice timing this time. That'll be the first game for Dark Eightful in this set. It's been very, very close to getting that already. But now finally, decent amount of success in a row. Good timing on the burst as well. Ifrit putting Dark Eightful to the corner. Cutting the instant air dash short. Oh, wait, it's going for a self-explosion there. From the, was the bomb dash still active? Jump 2K, once again, being one of the ace cards of Faust players. This time we're not gonna lose the combo. Big, big juggle. Might not be as much damage as some of the characters like Nagode Yuki or Soul Bad Guy can do, but in the scale of, if we think about the scale of damage that Faust does, a lot of those corner combos will do very substantial damage when you actually get the opponent in the danger zone there. Vacuum effect. Dark Eightful not quite ready to give away the corner position. Nice deflect shield, putting Faust exactly where Axel would usually like to be. Nice shimmy there, calling out the throw. And now Dark Eightful looking for potentially one more hit, able to see the command grab Teleport in. Ooh, I think that's not very plus. It can sometimes be an interesting situation in terms of frame advantage, depending on which hits of that teleport spin land. And you can kind of control the trajectory of where you're going as well. So you might be able to disengage from that situation if you recognize that, oh, I'm not in a good position. Speaking of position, ooh, nice movement there. With a very high jump, and then the dive kick, jump 2K, jumping to the other side, and then the teleport, close slash counter hit. There's gonna be a decent amount of corner carry. Choosing to actually take the wall break as well, making sure that it's gonna happen half of your opponent's life. So both of these characters are fairly low guts characters, meaning that they will most of the time take nearly maximum amount of damage. I think Axel has some guts, maybe guts 1 character if I'm not mistaken, but I think Faust is just a classic guts 0 kind of a character. Ooh, with the classic jump slash, especially the neutral jump slash or instant air backdash or back jump slash. Very great tools for defending your space with another really great teleport here. And the way to deal with the teleport as well, usually you would have to not commit to stuff that has a lot of recovery, but by design, Axel kinda is working with a lot of stuff that are fireball functions, like stuff that is recovering for a very long time. Tools that sort of cover a lot of the screen, prevent the opponent from getting in very easily, but a teleport character like Faust kinda, poses a very unique kind of problem to solve for Axel in that regard. But so far, Ifrit has found decent amount of success solving those situations and taking the lead once again, 3-2.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Trade on Brown Star, definitely in Ifrit's favor. Chooses to use the burst very early, pushing April into the corner. Ooh, but that's completely gonna whiff! Giving Ifrit an opportunity to get a punish. Throw is the choice here. Try to look for the burst as well, but again, Dark April has been pretty good at delaying the burst, not doing them in the most obvious kind of places. Speaking of steering those moves, Mix is also another tool that you can choose to steer in different kinds of directions. So if you notice that, oh shit, my Mix is actually not hitting like I intended it to, you can try to escape from those situations. Right, with 6 speed, that little guy is coming as well. Ooh, still coming back, and that's gonna be a combo breaker! However, good follow through, or follow up there by Ifrit. Not panicking, just going into a defensive stance. Air backdash jump slash once again. Try to approach when that jump slash is active. Ooh, but Dark April finding a way to approach that said button. We have a really nice air button as well, with the reach of that Faust jump heavy. That is kind of a nice button to have against a character like this, because you don't necessarily, like, a lot of the characters who would like to approach you on the ground will not have air options that can even feasibly try to reach Axel during that jump slash, especially when it's very spaced. But like, just going straight into a jump heavy by Faust should reach almost like half screen away. Nice teleport once again, putting Ifrit into the corner, and Ifrit does not have the burst here either. So Dark April actually finding a hit with that Gatling into too heavy. Again, a little bit too bounce on that combo. Not two-faced. Trying to not let it hurt him too much, even though he lost the corner there. Hit by the command grab. Was the follow through, channeling the tornado. Dark April was not quite ready to teleport that time. You can't be ready every single time after all. And of course, it's a little harder to justify those teleports if you can't back them up with the PRC, if you don't have the 50 meter to sort of safeguard you just don't like if your opponent is ready to react to that, if your opponent is ready to sort of counterplay that, it's much easier with the use of the 50 meter to try to nullify that counterplay. Ooh, the close slash didn't quite hit properly. Still has the pressure and throws out a really good item as well. Little guy, there's a couple of different items that could have saved you in that situation. Little guy, probably a hammer as well. But of course, as they say, if you throw enough items, eventually you are gonna throw the good ones. Command grab hits once again. RC very close to a kill. Probably has the burst as well with Faust's guts. However, still at a very low life situation. And with that advantage, Ifrit is blazing forward.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Alright, go burst into command grab. So mechanically, the further away from the further away from Axel you are, I think the faster the command grab will hit, because it comes from the other side of the screen, right? But generally, even the fastest command grab should be reactable with something like a backdash, if nothing else. It's usually pretty fast to transition into that input. Ooh, clean teleport PRC. Gets a close slash starter. Axel in the air, the boot to the 5k doesn't quite reach that time. Tried to transition into the jump 2k, however, that extended your hurt box. Dark Eightful not quite able to overcome the tornado that time. And again, ready to unleash a strike on the landing there. Again, no PRC to combine with that teleport makes it ever so much more punishable. The tornado again. Oh, but a little bit of a scuff situation there. Jumps into the manifestation of the teleport. And now let's install the Afro. Lots of different things that we could do from here. Opting to do just the neutral jump D, which will light the Afro on fire and put a little bit of a timer to that. Oh, tried to poke into it. The 5k doesn't seem to have a good enough hitbox. I think worst case scenario, if you don't have like a good counterplay against the low follow-up of Rensen that vacuums you in, you can just block it and it's gonna be plus for you, I think, most of the time. But of course, optimally, the low follow-up doesn't really have an anti-air hitbox of any kind, so if you manage to jump over it, you should be able to get a punish. To the other side, speaking of punishes, teleport. A great one once again. Tornado is knowing to deal with good timing on the close slash for Ifrit. Once again, tax Dark Eightful out of the teleport successfully. It's been roughly 50-50 between those teleports working out or not. Dishing a reversal super, very decent amount of damage, and again, follows it up with a command grab. Blast from the Past has been using that sequence, I think, with a 100% success rate so far. And it's like the command grab from Axel is one of those things that, like, if it's not in the back of your mind like all the time, you can easily miss it, and it can become a backbone of, you know, sort of things to lean on for Axel if things just don't seem to be going your way. You're like, all right, let me do this reaction check, and if you can't clear it, then too bad, I'm gonna do it again, kind of a thing. Opts to block the tornado this time, however, the 6 heavy afterwards gets a hit. Nice, connecting with the mix in the corner, and no burst inside for Ifrit this time. Do we get the super? Not quite. So this is still anybody's game, drifting forward, but that's gonna slow down the frames of Axel considerably. If you don't do a K move as Axel out of that soft knockdown wall break, I think you can't really stop the drift forward. The hammer is still there. Combo breaker, they say one of the best items, if not the best. Ooh, this time we have a counterplay to the command grab. I think that was not on reaction though. Just, you know, it was one of those moments when Dark Eightful just wanted to go for it. Goes for it again, get the throw. Slightly expensive, very low amount of damage, but lighting the Afro on fire. But gets hit just in the nick of time before it's ready to explode. Safety teleport to the other side of the screen, however, gets surprised by the command grab again. Is that gonna be the MVP? This time, it's Ifrit who's hunting for the burst. Or wait, it's I think it's been Ifrit who's been trying to read those bursts for a long time, and finally guesses the timing right. And takes the set 7-2. They do say the lower you run, the lower health situation you are in, the less options you have for choosing your burst timings anymore. And this time Ifrit basically says, yep, you kind of have to burst here within the next couple of hits, otherwise it's lights out. And there he goes. All right, next one. Slightly different kind of pace here, or maybe similar-ish, because these characters are both also capable of some long-range control. I think prominently Jack-O would be the more traditional zoner out of these two. Jack-O can kind of control the round or control the stage by setting the minions, and if she has at least a bar of the minion gauge ready, she can command all of the set minions to attack at the same time, preventing or sealing off a huge chunk of the stage at the same time. Johnny though, even though Johnny does have pretty long range with the Mistfinder, he generally tends to thrive in mid to close range situations. You usually want to get an initial hit, deal into the opponent's wake up, crush their guard by slicing into the card, and then looping the situation if possible. And or following it up with a mix-up of some sort. Usually a strike throw, or you could go for high-low as well with those TK Mistfinders. So a little bit more mix-up oriented character, where Jack-O tends to thrive in control and pressure. The pressure strings of Jack-O generally tend to take a little longer than Johnny, who usually just wants to go into the mix-up immediately. Although that is not to say that Jack-O can't mix her opponent up. Every single attack command from a minion can be converted into a strike throw, albeit generally not necessarily, like the risk reward might not align for you as well as it aligns for some other characters due to, you know, how many rewards or like how much damage you can score from those hits. And of course, you, like, whenever you get hit, you risk losing your minions, you lose risking your position, which you could have probably bettered if you just revolved you or transitioned into a more defensive perimeter, maybe backdashed out, took out a couple of minions, sealed off the horizontal vector of the stage, and just started sort of controlling the match. So there are a lot of situations for Jack-O where you're kind of trying to determine, am I going in here, or am I still trying to be safe and look for an opening in a different way? Right, let's see. Cohortis is gonna need a couple of minutes still, which is completely fine. So this is Freygar's first match on Bounty Hunters. And another Jacko player. These Jacko players are coming out of nowhere. Like players I don't have necessarily like the most knowledge of before they sign up. Extremely exciting to, you know, meet new players like that. Especially like new players who control or have chosen to take control of characters who are a little bit more on the technical side. Such as, you know, Jacko, Happy Chaos, Asuka. You know the type. Zato. That kind of characters. Characters that require you to put a little bit extra time into being able to pilot your character successfully. It's always fun to see like how players of, especially like on the lower skill levels, like rookie tiers or intermediate tiers, how do players at those skill tiers control those kind of characters? And Guilty Gear Strive is a very interesting game in that kind of way that you can have pretty good control over your character, even if you're not the even if you're not at a skill level where you could, for example, take a tournament just yet. Is Freygarr on the wrong character? All right, no worries. It is a game where, you know, piloting multiple characters is definitely feasible. I say this, I keep bringing the OG old Guilty Gear mind into our modern Guilty Gear by, you know, throwing in analysis such as like, back in the day, we were married to our mains and we could not play another character, for if we did, we would fall behind. But it's not exactly like that in Guilty Gear Strive, and that's kind of a really beautiful thing. Because counter picking is, you know, has always been a feasible competitive strategy in fighting games. A strategy that has not really been available for Guilty Gear players before this game, because like it's really difficult to control even one character successfully in the older Guilty Gear games. Really nice 6B there. That was a vault deal as well. If that was, yeah, I guess it's usually the vault deal PRC that is kind of hard to deal with. But if neither is not involved, I guess you can try the anti-air by positioning yourself correctly. Jumps over the super. Gets pushed back a little bit too much, so not the cleanest punish. However, still maintains the corner. Freygarr. Able to take a couple of minions, and as soon as we have a nice 6B under the Mistfinder. Of course, if Johnny goes for the furthest reaching Mistfinder, which is the K Mistfinder, you can always try to go under with moves such as like 6B. If you don't have anything else, I wonder if Jacko can actually use 2D to go under as well. Probably like if it does, it probably does have a little bit of startup, so maybe not on the initial frames. Speaking of that 2D, oh, but the opponent is completely in the wrong position here from the viewpoint of Cohortis. And again, but at least they can get a little bit of frame advantage, because technically, if you connect strikes on your opponent in the air, they do go into guaranteed recovery. Won't be able to hold down Freygarr long enough though. Freygarr opens it up 1-0 here very early. This is actually very aggressive kind of Jacko gameplay. I guess it might be because of the... Ooh, that crossed up? Nutty! It's not very common for characters to have an easy-to-use cross-up hitbox on their jump-ins in Guilty Gear games. I mean, some do and some don't. I guess it's more often than not. Most characters don't really have a easy cross-up option. Ooh, but that's gonna be a punish on the way down. Immediately goes for the sandwich. Cohortis manages to jump out of it, misses the soccer kick on the minion. Tragic. And a close slash takes care of the anti-air situation, misses the combo, misses the super as well, which does give Freygarr an opportunity to get a couple of hits, get a minion out. And engage with that 5 heavy. Really nice tool that moves you forward and has a really nice hitbox as well. Although the opposition definitely does not lack quality of hitboxes either when Johnny is concerned. Ooh, nice air movement. Again, Freygarr opting to engage much more than we usually see Jacko players do. Perhaps because it might be actually hard to accumulate like a successful amount of minions and or, you know, because Johnny is the kind of character. Ooh, nice counter hit though. Making sure that it converts with the use of 50 meter as well. And I guess maybe because Johnny does have like a lot of vulnerabilities to certain kind of trajectories. Man, this is so mobile. Actually like this. This is kind of almost like a rushdown type of Jacko that we're seeing. Catching the backdash again with that 2D. Nice parry command, sending Cohortis back into the corner. Cashing out with the super. Wham bam. Decent amount of damage. Hard knockdown as well. Now, big question. Is Freygarr gonna move in? But of course, yeah, based on the amount of aggressiveness we've seen so far, we are definitely going in balls deep. Good anti-air though. And now it's Cohortis' time to make it count. Get super as well. But look at Freygar's resources. Is almost gonna have 100 moving to the next screen. And a deflect shield option here as well. But now it's Cohortis' turn to make a decision. Are we gonna go in or are we gonna play it safe? And actually chooses, like this is the character that I would think would just go in. But I think Cohortis was pretty smart there, choosing the kind of approach there. The opponent has very little health, so make them come to you instead of going to them. A quick cash out, through the wall we go. Opponent very low health. Both players with not really 50 tension to use yet. Tries to poke into the minion. However, Jacko was nowhere to be seen in the vicinity. Nice 2K to start it off. We'll be able to instant air dash past the minion. That's kind of sort of choice you gotta make. How am I launching my minions at the opponent? And if the opponent is moving forward, can they bypass my minion's trajectory? Because a minion that has been like completely bypassed is kind of like a dead tool unless, you know, the match revolves back into that position again, or if you know, I can sort of manipulate their position somehow. Neutral jump into a close slash. That was surprising. No anti-air attempts from Freygarr. The dash forward gold burst. We are in a positive bonus, but do we get to utilize it though? The jump in. Connects that jump heavy very high up in the air, which prompted Freygarr prompted Cohortis into perhaps trying to challenge, but unfortunately trades into it. Go under with the round start again, yeah. Lots of low profiling qualities with that Jacko 2D. And traditionally, Johnny tends to have his best pokes reach horizontally very far, but not on the ground, unless you use a specified, like a specific button to catch the opponents. Ooh, nice run up! However, not the biggest punish. We still get to keep our offensive position doing the block string. Initially ran out of minion gauge, but has been able to regain most of it, cashing out, and now opponent, the only defensive mechanic available is deflect shield. So we got sort of a free reign here until Cohortis found a really nice jump out of the pressure, and now, ooh, it was a unfortunate. We probably wanted to go for a step dash into a throw, but missed the step dash input. And a perfect timing there with the soccer kick and everything. rather neutral trade on the round start. This time using 5 heavy from Jacko. Get the poke on the minion, get the instant air dash in. It's time to mix it up. No wall break yet. Most optimal, you would love to knock your opponent down so that you have enough frames to deal and then go for the Mistfinder afterwards. Again, the 2D, one of the MVP tools of our Jacko player. Neutral jump K. Prompts Freygarr to use the burst immediately in order to keep this offensive position, and it definitely pays off. We get a wall break, which is, of course, for just about any character in Guilty Gear Strive, one of your best win conditions. We'll miss the opportunity to go for the super, but again, we're still in an offensive position. Even if you drop your combo, even if you drop your confirm, it doesn't necessarily mean it's like end of the world. As long as you can transition into more offense, great. Just keep it going. Your opponent still has to make a successful read or a guess of some sort to get out of there. Ooh, that was a really good trade here. Was that a minion attack command? Trading into a huge launch there for Freygarr. Now, ooh, doesn't let the sandwich happen this time. 5B is the anti-air of choice that takes care of it. Wait, the turnip? Hello, turnip? Where did they go? It looks like the hurtbox, or rather the hitbox of the turnip completely like missed Freygarr there. Am I seeing things? I mean, it is still like a slightly unfortunate kind of shape of the hitbox. So if you slice the card, it's how should I describe what it looks like? It's like not really a cross shape, but kinda. And sometimes, depending on the situation, it like the weird shape might make it width. Even if your opponent is supposed to be, ooh, the PRC here gets a successful close slash anti-air. That's a counter hit as well. Misses the deal command. 6B ready to go still. No jumping out of the corner for free. Again, the turn up just doesn't reach. I guess the placement of the card is very critical. Nice backdash out of the super. And Cohortis getting finally a little bit of success there. That was actually a very nice round for Cohortis. Tried to go for a 6K, however, once again, the 2D from Jacko a little bit earlier to get there. Ooh, what a read there. 6 heavy is an interesting button for Jacko for, it looks like it would be like a super massive round or combo starter, but you don't tend to get a lot out of it. It's actually always been so. With the basic combo, we'll be able to break the wall, and Freygarr moving forward with quite a bit of advantage. But every time Cohortis has been able to get the corner position, I think the problem here for Cohortis is the turnips just haven't been somehow hitting properly, like missing with a lot of them. Able to hit it this time, but still, Freygarr managed to wiggle their way out of there. Players spending their burst, ooh, completely whipping with the deal, and that means we got a punish lined up. Freygarr takes it to the corner, breaks the wall, and what now? Tries to neutral skip with the use of Vault Deal PRC. Again, the Vault Deal PRCs as well have been kind of hitting. Oh, nice big counter hit. There we go. Damage inbound. Misses the ender of the combo, unfortunately. Most of the damage has been done. Nice 2K mash. Counter hit confirm as well into. All right, interesting. I was waiting for the Mistfinder to maybe trigger the turn up there, but it never came, and then just, you know, was able to poke their way into the victory. There we go. Instead of deal, just go for a meaty. If they're not respecting, we go again. Ooh, again, speaking of those cross-ups, coming down with the jump K actually ended up hitting Freygarr from behind. And now, deal into Mistfinder? No Mistfinder? It's like everybody's waiting for it. Is it coming? Is it coming? No, it's not coming. Where is it? I'm backing off a little and then into the classic Vault Deal PRC. One of the hardest tools to deal with has been always sort of like the bane of the opponent's existence. When Johnny has meter, be it in Guilty Gear Strive, the Vault Deal PRC, or in Exert, the what's it called, the Swy Travel YRC, very same kind of tools, and you would have to position yourself at a very particular distance, depending on like if you wanna try to challenge it aggressively, in which case you would have to be pretty close. You want to go for like a DP or something, but not too close, otherwise it's impossible to react to, or just be completely outside of its active range. But that usually means that you're outside of your own active range as well. So it poses a very interesting conundrum to play against Johnny when Johnny has 50 meter available. Speaking of, we do have it now, but we are in a position where we are not... Ooh, but never mind. We get out of there. Was able to build the 50 meter just at the end of that combo, and is that a chip kill? I think that might have been a chip damage kill there. Got to go for the 5D, however, Freygarr still standing. Yeah. Not taking the overhead. Alright, choosing to use the Ensenga instead of using a super. It's interesting how much damage they made Ensenga do even after the nerfs. Still does like a crap ton of damage for breaking the wall with. So like even if you miss the super conversion, you're still gonna get quite a bit of damage as long as you manage to stick the opponent to the wall. Alright, Cohortis is kind of starting to catch up to Freygarr here. Was in a very dire looking situation, being down 1-4, but now this universe looks much brighter than the one before. 3-4. Ooh, trying to poke with the best high-reaching pokes, far slash. But this character, Jacko, going under every single one of them. Oh, but not this time. The neutral jump. Coming down on the jump. Sorry, on the 2D of Jacko's. I wonder if Freygarr was trying to launch the minion here with the 2S. Oh, the minion train. Work with the single one, activate the red. Interesting. So usually people, Jacko players tend to favor the blue version because it kind of gives a little bit of the same that the red does. It does boost your minion gauge regeneration, but it also makes your minions invulnerable. But I mean, if you activate the red, it really boosts the regeneration. It's, I think, technically like impossible to run out of that meter while red is active. Speaking of, we could potentially see, I don't know, just hoping to take the wall break instead. It is gonna be the soft kind though. Both players missing each other in the air. Nobody's home. I guess both players' air buttons just hits a little too high up. Guys will be able to block the Joker trick on the way up and preventing the opponent from running out of the corner. No jumps for you, sir. Far slash, very fast, very good hitbox. Infamously hard to jump out of that round start as well. There we go, finally using the Johnny 2S to its best effect, because Freygarr has been low profiling a lot of stuff from Cohortis. And on the other hand, we've seen Cohortis use very little of that 2S. Usually when you face opponents that use a lot of low profiling stuff, just like such as Jacko's like 2K, 2D, stuff like that, you would probably try to, or like opt to use a little bit more of your own low reaching tools, such as like that 2S. But I mean, it doesn't seem to be slowing down Cohortis too much. You could choose to solve the situation from a different point of view. Just space yourself properly. Don't put yourself in situations where you can't be low profiled under. Like if they go for a 2D, so what? Just stand in a position where it can't reach you and your far slash is technically gonna win. Such as, look at that! Exactly as I say! Cohortis takes a back step and makes the 2D whiff and getting a very nice whiff punish. And Johnny is really great candidate for doing those whiff punishes as well. Very fast at moving around. Not just with that forward dash, but also with that back dash that recovers really, really quick. Yep, case in point, look at that. 3 3 backdashes already, and in a completely impossible to reach trajectory for Freygarr. And Cohortis is being so mobile. Everything is missing from Freygarr. Freygarr is starting to, like, trying to take the aggressive approach, trying to dash in deep, go for those 2Ds, but they're just swinging a miss here. Ooh, this time it's Cohortis who goes for a very, very aggressive one. Step dash forward, gold burst, successful, and then keep the corner after that. Alright, we actually got the tier list from Maria, so let me put that in the back burner. We'll fix that at some point. Ooh, again! Standing at a spacing where the jumping from Freygarr is not gonna connect, although in the follow-up situation, confirming in the super, that should go successfully through the wall. Freygarr still manages to maintain their leading position here. Cohortis played like 3 in a row, but finally Freygarr has been able to find the momentum breaker. And a very decent amount of damage from those couple of hits. Ooh, there we go! The 2S! Very good hitbox on that as well. So it's not too big of a deal, like if you theoretically can't use your bar slash or 5 heavy. 2S will kind of do the work as well. And 2S from Johnny is, if I recall correctly, one of the harder moves to whiff punish in the game. Reversal, however, is it gonna be fast enough? Yes, indeed. Finish it up with style. One hit super, or rather raw super, without any normals in front of it. Once again, the 2D does so much work. I wonder, so if Johnny would round start with 2S, 2S is a slightly slower move, sure. But I wonder what Jacko could do to beat it, actually. Unless she's just backwalking and looking to whip punish it. The turn up. Successful combo. Just have the meter to get the hard knockdown, though. So just equalizing the situation. Backing a little, or backing off a little in order to build enough tension. Spencer, oh! Goes under. Misses the combo. There's still a chance for Freygarr. Still anybody's game, but... misses with the 2D on in a critical manner, allowing Cohortis to get a 2P punish for the round. It's a really close one. One downside of if you're too eager to try to make the opponent whip, you might, in some circumstances, back yourself into the corner. Such was Cohortis' fate here in this round. This would be really hard comeback to make. It ain't gonna happen this time. Freygarr. Counter momentum swing from a 4-4 position, takes 2 in a row, and now the burden is on Cohortis' side to take 3 in a row. To put 1 up on that. But I mean, he did it before. He got from 1-4 into 4-4 position. So it has been done. It is definitely possible. Again, the aggressive forward dash into a gold burst. Positive bonus, as long as we're making the opponent block stop, we are building a lot of meter. And now with that 75, what can we do? Bolt deal, PRC is definitely one of those. But from this defensive position, our options are slightly limited. Goes immediately for the vault deal. The neutral jump, no button on the way down. I wonder if they did press something such as the jump gay that was used as a cross-up earlier into the set. Would that have been successful? Either way, Freygarr with the first set point position here. Is he able to take it? Working in tandem with the minion. Gold burst is successful, so we potentially have the juice to make the comeback. But now, how are we transitioning into that offensive position from this defensive one? Drifting forward, yeah, close slash is gonna pull Freygarr back onto the ground, and the delay, massive delay there on the low misfire. However, in the follow-up situation, reversal super, Johnny is so close to death. Chip death is almost imminent. Prompts Cohortis to press the FD, but Freygarr was expecting that and goes for a throw instead. From that counter momentum swing, Freygarr secures the set 7-4. But it was a great storyline. During that like 1-4 situation when Freygarr was up 3 games, I was like, okay, it's probably just done. But Cohortis never gave up the fight and made it extremely competitive still. Really good stuff. Right, next up is this our so-called top seed of the evening? I think this is the one. And it's gonna be none other than Talla going up against RubyPrison versus Elfelt. So it's been a while since we've last seen Talla. In fact, let me check. Yeah, it's been a couple of months. But Talla consistently with that Bridget performance has taken down a couple of decently big names. Oh, wait a second. How did the pokey set go? No, that was very close, but it wasn't quite Talla's victory. Either way, she's been doing extremely good in matches that she's played on Bounty Hunters so far. And now, the next opponent is gonna be one of the slightly newer acquisitions, but a very, very active one in the form of RubyPrison, one of our Elfelt players. In fact, Ruby is one of the, sort of one of the reasons, or maybe even the primary reason as of recent, why we had a lot of Elfelt representation on Bounty Hunters. Definitely a grenade enthusiast likes that tool. If the opponent is not ready to call it out, you know, why not just reset the situation? And grenade for Elfelt from a block string always leads into technically a mix-up. So if you just sit still and take it, you're eventually gonna crumble. It's kind of like playing against Ino in a way, whereas, you know, if you're not aggressively or actively defending against Ino's float dashes, every single new float dash is basically a new mix-up opportunity. And because those float dashes lead to basically 50-50s that you can't react to, the sort of probability dictates that you're gonna block wrong. You're gonna get your guard the opponent is gonna go through your guard like a decent amount of situations. So it's definitely one of those tools that you wanna try to defend against aggressively, or you wanna try to look for. Because you don't wanna let your opponent have like too easy of a time for mixing you up. Although this character Elfelt, the grenade is definitely not the only tool she can use to mix her opponent up, for we have the Rekka. Oh joy, the Rekka. Another basically unreactable high-low kind of tool that you can mix in pressure resets with as well. Like from a Rekka sequence, no matter if you go for a high Rekka or a low Rekka, or even the initial S Rekka itself, you can always try to reset it back to S Rekka. And sort of how how the Rekka system works for Elphelt is that she always has like 3 charges. The initial one, the middle one, and then the ender one. And if she uses an S Rekka, she can go back to the beginning and sort of reset the sequence. But the tricky thing is that you would have to be aggressively pressing buttons to stop it or try to escape the S Rekka. But her other tools are rather airtight or rather like not very mashable. Going from an S Rekka into overhead or the low, you can't really do much about those. So if you're trying to prevent the S Rekka reset, then you're open to just the layer 1 of Elphelt just doing S low or S overhead. You get hit and it's combo time and back into the same situation, depending on the stage position. Nowadays, if Elphelt gets the Rekka combo and ends in in the shotgun ender, you get a pretty good Oki nowadays, I think. She didn't used to get so much, but Elphelt has been definitely getting buffs as of recent. Some of those knockdown situations are just a little bit better. Some of the frame data of your sort of air combos, I think because they changed how grenade works, it kind of... Did they make it faster? I forget. But it did change the combo structure of her combos a little compared to what it was in the vanilla release of the character. Because I played this character quite a bit upon release. But now I noticed, oh, a lot of tools have just changed, so the combo routes are different as well. But of course that means they're just usually strictly better, right? Right, but Talla, our Bridget Master. Let's see how this character would deal with what Elphelt has to offer. Cool thing about Bridget is that you do have a meterless DP, which is an invaluable tool for preventing like layer 1 offense from being initiated from Elphelt. Such as like usually if you don't have a meterless reversal, stuff like 6 heavy or 5 heavy into Rekka cannot really be prevented by you. But if you have a DP, there is always at least 1 frame gap between a normal and a Rekka. So a DP character would always have counterplay against that, one way or another. Speaking of those grenade resets, there's the DP as well. Drifting forward. Grappling with the 6B, and it hits, and now it's time to... Oh, but however, Ruby goes for a what should we call that? Grenade from a defensive position, pounces out of there, kind of like a makeshift instant air dash. Definitely something that you can do if you find a gap large enough. That time, the life disadvantage was a little bit too much for Talla to work through. 5 heavy into nothing, unfortunately. No cancel, was probably not expecting it to hit quite like that. There we go, 6B. Don't you try to jump onto the big counter hit, too heavy. But yeah, you never want to miss, but oh baby, is it hard to miss with because it's so large. As long as you're not too far away from the opponent. Got the backdash there with a 2S. Another option that, or rather a button that Bridget will have to represent quite a bit, because players, just like Johnny in the previous set, players will try to go under a lot of your pokes on a regular basis if you just represent your sort of furthest reaching best buttons at neutral and during pressure. Speaking of that, 2S. Was a big combo for Talla. I mean, big in, you know, in the scale of Bridget. Bridget definitely not known for her combo damage. Recognizes that that setup is definitely not airtight or DP safe. There's the 6P. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of that kind of meta game between, you know, Bridget. Oh, there we go. The DP seems like another tool that can actually take care of the grenade resets. So perhaps perhaps having a DP, even if it's not the best DP in the game, not by a long shot. In fact, many would argue that Bridget DP is kind of like a middle of the pack, maybe even on the weaker side of DPs. He is still a DP, and he does have a decent reach, so it can cover multiple options, including the grenade resets. Alright, a successful hit into a wall break. We got the loop. Queued up for a decent amount of damage, and now what are we mixing with? With instant. Ooh, interesting. So goes for a reversal 6B. So a lot of characters, if their instant air dash buttons don't hit early enough, some characters can just 6B under them. Oh, but we had the insurance, we had the bomb bell, one of the grimiest tools currently, maybe one of the best supers currently in Guilty Gear Strive. Able to outsmart the tracking of the Roger super, but once again, Talla with a keen sense for that reversal. So far, I think no baits whatsoever for Ruby. Has been going with the basically the steady media routing. The ricochet shot was pretty damn cool. Able to combo into a close slash and big combo into the bomb belt. Now, even if you would DP here, I think it wouldn't. Does it actually? If you get the hit, does it remove the bomb belt? I think it doesn't, right? It's just the perfect insurance. So eventually, you will have to drop your combo and protect yourself against the explosion that is basically attached to your character. Look at that! The hitbox of the Bridget DP actually covers the. It looked like it was already crossed up. Oh, but Ruby with the perfect bait here. Straight in the bomb belt. A couple of options here for Talla. We could reversal super maybe. One option is if you lock the opponent into an animation and you make that animation last long enough, you could feasibly power through the explosion. I've seen some absolutely nutty clips on Twitter where you're like, all right, the bomb belt is attached, I get a hit, you do your combo, and then at the moment when you know the bomb belt is gonna explode, you actually combo into a DP, which makes you invulnerable, which makes the bomb belt explode into nothing. But that kind of stuff is really, really hard to do. I guess a better option, like a better example of that would be doing like a super or a throw that locks you into animation for like 2-3 seconds, during which the bomb belt just explodes and does nothing. Nice 2K check here. Starting the situation for Talla from the FRC into an overhead mix. We got a lot of that for sure. But Bridget actually breaks the rolling movement straight into a low this time. I think the layer 1 options are, of course, the overheads for a lot of mixes for Bridget, because those would do the most damage, but would also be fairly reversal safe as well. But the low options are the real spice of the mix-ups. Ooh, the 2S barely misses. This time goes for a 2K and the reversal super. I think Talla was pressing a button here. Yeah, revving up some sort of neutral, some sort of normal. Will be blown up by Ruby's reversal super. In 6B. It's the layer 1. If the opponent commits, or rather if the Bridget commits into the rolling movement, you should be able to poke it with a far enough reaching hitbox. There we go! No entry into the Rekka for free. Even if you go from 5 heavy into Rekka, DP characters get DP. Is what Talla did here, which is what started this sequence through the wall. Ruby has quite a lot of resources to play with here. But are we brave enough to pull the trigger? Reversal super or YRC are options for sure. Neither which is coming through, nor is the burst either. It is a slightly daunting task when you're playing against a character who can play against you from such a far distance. It's like characters like Bridget, Nagoriyuki, even Sin with moves such as like Beak Driver. If you try to YRC at the wrong point, you might just, miss completely. Oh, the ricochet shot into close slash, into a reset immediately. I was about to say, I've never seen Ruby use this little of grenade. But I guess it's because, like, the active defense that Talla has had against it. Yeah, airtight 2S from the YRC. But Ruby finds a really nice Avara here, breaks the sequence with the life advantage that they already had. Ooh, these new routes are so cool. Now it's so cool when a new DLC character that gets the regular Arc System Works, or rather Arc-Sys Strive DLC treatment, when they finally get the quality of life that they needed and become a real character, or like a not a real character, but a character that can stay like fight toe to toe with the rest of the cast, it looks so beautiful. And I think Elfelt is kind of there, right? Finally. Ooh, look at that footsies! 5 heavy max range. When we talk about Bridget, we don't usually consider her necessarily like a standard poking character. Ooh, there we go, big bait. But try to go for, I guess, the biggest starter in the form of 6 heavy. This was a little late, unfortunately. I mean, close slash would close slash be actually better from a 5 heavy? Slightly too far, unfortunately, for the grenade conversion. But the RPS on baiting the DP has definitely started to manifest. Again, prevents Ruby from going into the Rekka sequence from heavy buttons. Use the DP. Hard bait here. Ruby gets another opportunity. We get to use that meter. We could use it perhaps on Wild Assault, although Nice actually ended up being, you know, the winning play here. Not to burst into that hard bait. Ruby gets to keep that meter, and then in the left corner was able to break the upper that Talla was able to get out and maintain the aggressive position. Small things, it's something that happened like maybe 8-10 seconds ago, but an RPS situation that actually had relevant bearing on the conclusion of the set, or rather that game. Threw the ball again. Now you're really fucked up. And the cool thing is, the mixes are gonna explode the grenade immediately. So, for example, if you go into like an overhead Rekka, cool. If you go like into an overhead Rekka, makes the bomb belt explode, and you can pick it up and then break the wall again. I think with the combo that you're gonna get out of that. And because you're on positive bonus often in those situations, you're gonna get another application of that bomb belt. It is Strive, baby! That's why we say one of the most relevant win condition for many characters is this. YRC will still have to protect herself, and Ruby did have enough frame advantage to land into a close slash there. Lands as a counter hit, was it? For the first time, I think Ruby taking the lead in this set. But it is still sort of the adjustment pace. I would definitely not count out Talla here. Especially since she has really active active defense against a lot of the basic tricks that you would love to do on Elfelt. It could be a simple adjustment such as like, guess right, like a small fraction of time more. Ooh, I like the break out of the rolling movement. Baiting Ruby to go for the anti-air and then approaching from under. And just like that, Talla has a really aggressive... Oh, interesting. Ruby chooses to actually use... Oh my goodness. Is the investment of meter actually gonna pay off? Ruby, are you gonna steal it? Oh my god. I was about to say that deflect shield looks a little bit dubious. However, oh my fucking god. That was a hero deflect shield. But is it really? If it works out and you actually take the round? I think many higher level players would be really hesitant using their burst resources on a lost round like that. But Ruby doesn't care. Ruby is like, let's play. Let's freaking play. With the ricochet shot again, yeah. If you block that, you kind of have to respect Elfel on the way down, or lest this might happen, go for a burst bait, and that should be a kill, especially with the 50 meter that Ruby has. God damn! Looking mighty strong there. I mean, it looks... So look, it's a couple of really flashy, fancy-looking RPS reads that Ruby has been getting right, and the snowball that they've been able to get out of those is immense. So I think it looks a little bit better than it necessarily is, as long as it hasn't done too much mental damage on Talla. If Talla is discouraged here, that could lead into a snowball for Ruby to just take the set. But I think otherwise, they're of course still playing fairly even. Yeah, and look at this. Talla often has these rounds where it's just complete domination. Wall break into a situation where then Ruby just does something absolutely nutty and reverses the situation and steals it back from that point on. But not this time. Talla just has to play, you know, a little bit more mindful and make sure that those kind of robberies don't happen on a regular basis. And this is looking like more like Talla here. Ooh, that looks mighty dangerous. Unleashing the jump D so high up in the air. Gold burst works to break the grenade resets with decent rewards. Now we can utilize that positive bonus, which does bring Talla up to 100 tension. And now utilizing that 100 tension should be a kill, right? Maybe? Or I wonder if Talla dropped the combo on purpose because they noticed that loop-the-loop wouldn't kill it. YRC, oh no! Unleashed the 2S too early! The opponent was still in the air! What on earth? I don't think I've ever seen that kind of situation. Yeah, because the YRC kind of suspends you mid-air for a moment, and because Talla was so close to the ground, it caused like a situation where she lands, she's ready to act, but the opponent is still very, very sky high. Very queer kind of situation if I've ever seen one. Ooh, there we go. That's a clean read on that round start grenade. Generally, using grounded buttons against the grenade is not a great proposition because most of those are gonna just whiff. The hitbox, or rather the hurtbox on the grenade toss is way too good for the main body of Elfa herself. So you generally want to go air to air if you're like hard reading it or if you're trying to react to it. Nice backdash into 2S, perfect distance. Must have been the tip range of that 2S that Talla connected with. And goddamn, suddenly the pace of the match looks completely different. It's like Talla is just dominating until Ruby goes for a Hail Mary grenade. Defensive grenade. I told you, Ruby is definitely a grenade enthusiast. It's a ricochet shot. Ooh, let's see. The starter was a 6B though, so not the hardest hitting punish combo. Talla able to break out of the corner. Sent Roger as well to make sure that we get a lot of real estate. The backdash, is it gonna recover in time? I think not, right? And Ruby even combines it with the use of 50 meter extra, 100 meter into that reversal situation. We had that in one of the previous sets as well when I said don't backdash against an opponent who has 100. They're gonna super and they're gonna PRC every single time. Or I mean, who wouldn't? Like if you have that, if you have the power to put an end to that. Again, the Ruby special, even though they get the ricochet shot and got the close slash starter, doubled it up with the grenade. DP not made it this time. Goes for a reversal of their own. Let's see if Talla is on top of that. No. Oh yeah. She did block it, but again, Ruby did have the 100 to make sure that it's just completely safe. And the grenade skips a hop over that 2S. OTG, close slash into a grenade. Cross up? I don't know. But it definitely sunk that time. So Ruby is definitely at a very precarious position from the viewpoint of Talla. If Ruby goes one more game up, we are at a 6, which gets really gets a burst bait there as well. Fortunately, that was or rather, fortunately for Talla, that was a gold burst, so didn't get punished too badly. But in the follow-up situation, half of your life gone. Bomb belt is attached. Stands up to block the overhead, but the low afterwards triggers it. Luckily for Talla, that time Ruby didn't have the meter to go for another one. That would have probably just been a checkmate. What is this, Street Fighter? Prototype fighting games? Fireball, fireball. What's the opponent gonna do against fireballs? Jump over, intercept. Beautiful. Ancient fighting game strategies from the year before 2000s. Ooh, okay. All right. Did we get a side switch? Not quite. So a slightly precarious angle, punishing the DP airborne with a 5 heavy. Ruby's powering through, goes for the slightly older type of less utilized Oki option. You can shoot a miss on an opponent that is still getting up, and the ricochet is later gonna come back and bite you in the ass. But it technically just, you know, forces the opponent to respect and leads into, I guess, a close slash in the follow-up situation. You're just getting pressure, not necessarily a mix-up, but it can be quite the lucrative oh, okay, once again. Talla bursts out of there. So does Ruby. No corner pressure. Good 6-speed puts Ruby back into the corner. And now, they'll let them jump out. Ooh, well, didn't let them jump out for free. As, like, if you don't manage to hard punish them out of that jump, just make sure that you're at least tagging them on the landing. I missed the... Ooh, but the ricochet shot comes back! No matter the angle. Talla's button gets there just before, and this should be a kill. No, the kickstart my heart didn't quite connect there. But with that massive amount of resources Talla had, was definitely favored to take that round. Into the rolling movement, overhead, and another mix-up. Overhead hits again. Yeah, without 50 meter, there's not a whole lot that Ruby could do there unless they were trying to use deflect shield. Oh, there we go, there's the close slash punish. I think that's the punish that Ruby has been looking for. Look at that damage. That damage is immaculate. YRC is baited. Is that gonna be the end of it all? Or, I mean, Ruby is still not on a set point position yet because they are down a round. But now we arrive to that faded score. 6-3. Ruby has a round win. So one more win here would end the set immediately. Watching those ricochet shots, kind of hard to deal with, especially if you would have to be very preemptive and approach your opponent, approach the Elfo player. Right, a cover cancel into the bomb belt. Skip into the mix-up. Now, are you guessing right? Overhead, overhead, and the second overhead will be able to combo into a massive launcher, into a kill. It's so nasty. So normally, when you play the overhead and you follow it up with another overhead, even if the even if the second overhead hits, you're usually not gonna convert into much unless you have 50 meter to RC, because like there's just no follow-up. That's your third Rekka. But when the bomb belt is there, oh my god, you actually have to worry about both of the high-low mix-ups. Generally, like without the bomb belt, it's the second Rekka that is the one that you have to be most scared about. Because if that sinks in, then Elfo can do a finisher into like a heavy Rekka, and then get an Oki, go from there. Ooh, that tool is grimy. That tool is really, really nasty. And Ruby making super good use of it. Actually making super good use of like basically all of the nasty tools that Elfo has in her kit. Bomb belt, really nasty. grenade, really nasty as well. Forces you, like, even if your opponent deals with the grenade fairly well, it's gonna drain a lot of their concentration and a lot of their it's gonna occupy a lot of their allocated memory resources, because like you can only concentrate on limited amount of things at a time. It is what overwhelming the opponent's what do you call that, mental stack, what it's all about. Alright, we got one more standard match here in the form of MisterPanda and Civ, after which we're gonna do our random select match. Let me see. I got a lot of things to do here because of the random match. So how do we sequence? Let's do this first. And prompt the players. And then let's go save Maria's chart. Alright, we got that. Ready for the next one. So Leo versus Ramlethal. I think, as far as I can remember, Leo has never been an easy matchup by any means for Ramlethal, even at the peak of her sort of strength. I mean, not to say that she has fallen out of there or anything. I think in the modern patches she's like more in line with the rest of the cast. It's a little hard to say, but I think a lot of players don't in the modern day necessarily put her in like top 5 or anything. Either way, I don't think the Leo matchup has ever been particularly easy for Ramlethal, even though she definitely does outpoke the man. But I mean, who would Ramlethal not outpoke is a very fair question. All right, so MisterPanda on Bounty Hunters for the first time goes for a DP, immediate bait on the burst as well. Civ has her reading glasses on for certain, but you know, the opponent gets one read. We're definitely not discouraged. We can use that SDP tool for a very great effect. In fact, some of the best DPers in the game, you can never make them not DP, such as Leo, such as Sin. With the classic close range, lash pressure. Look at how much risk Leo was able to build with that, actually. Leo down into, ooh, waiting maybe for the DP. But I mean, in that situation, it's not the easiest proposition for Leo to unleash the flash kick either after the post guard crush situation. Wow, that was great! Able to throw MisterPanda out of the turbulence. So in the and throwing out of the Berserker slash as well. Civ is definitely locked in. Yeah, trading with the sword. I think that's okay proposition for the opponent. For Ram has to really sort of manage her resources that are the swords. Yeah, Civ is just completely locked in that reaction. So one of the offensive tools that you could lean on extremely heavily on Leo Whitefang if your opponent is just sleeping on the wheel is go for the Berserker slash cancels, cross them up. If they can't throw it, well, they're probably in deep trouble. It's the same kind of tool as Elfol's grenades, actually, if you were watching the previous set. Very, very similar. Plus frames from the rock, ooh, but puts Puts MisterPanda a little too far. However, didn't punish too bad out of that situation. Big fly swatter. Get out of there. Break their guard as well. Waiting for the DP. There it goes. We have 50. Should be a kill. Cancel 6 heavy super. Don't even need the wall break. Civ. It took a little bit of adjustment as per, you know, trying to understand how the opponent sort of operates on the reversal front. But I think Civ is starting to get at least a hunch. Oh, that's another great place to throw. The, whatchamacallit, the 6k cancel, which does, you know, move Leo a little bit forward. And because there's no throw inputs per se in Guilty Gear Strive, as there were in Leo's previous iterations. Alright, and a clean finish once again. Not really letting MisterPanda do any sort of defending that round either. And now, still very far from that full burst. Able to get an air type 2k after the rock. Yeah, I think from that close range position, you probably shouldn't be able to DP very easily. It's from a slightly more longer range cancels, where Ram might have to dash at you to press buttons where you might have time to DP instead. Lock him down again. Now, this would be big to get out of this situation while Ram's swords are on the ground. Oh, however, look at that! The tiny, teeny normal does not reach because the swords are on the ground and not equipped on Ram. Big Hail Mary. I see shades of Radoon Leo here. Oh, but the Mortabato is not fast enough to punish. No matter. RC it. We had 100. Keep the pressure going. Civ, still in control.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Yeah, that's very hard to punish. Even that's very minus that turbulence on block still. In the newest patch, it pushes you away so much that it's not actually feasible to, you know, make the Leo player stop playing the game. Especially since you have a really great repertoire of options from the back turn stance that puts you in. Right, MisterPanda on a warpath. Look at that, dashing forward with the momentum, with the added momentum of the forward dash that you can now add to your back turn stance buttons. Ooh, what was that throw? Probably wanted to do maybe a 2D there, not sure, to whiff punish. Anyway, that will cost MisterPanda some life and give Civ the positive bonus. Now, oh my god, already at 100. This is actually nasty. And the swords will come back as well. There's actually some really grimy mix-ups in the corner. Yeah, I was about to say, you could do FRCs, you could do, yeah, late air backdash for the overhead, land 2k for the low. Able to get out of there with the use of DP. Tried to go for a hard bait on a super, I think. With that, no wait, that doesn't actually work against supers, does it? Does it? No, yes it does, yes it does, sorry. I was mixing it up with bursts. Bursts cannot be back turn deed anymore, which was not the case in the past. You could actually do some really cool plays by getting a hard grid and just parrying their bursts. Alright, through the wall. MisterPanda slowly working up. All that Unga is ready to be unleashed. 50 meter, covers the situation out of the fly swatter, waits for the DP, let's see the punish. MisterPanda still has quite a lot of life though, missing with the combos, but still maintaining the aggressive position. MisterPanda though, 100 meter, 100 burst, let's see what we defend with. Super, yeah, there we go. We can cancel as well, goes for it, and the jump PPP combo afterwards. You can actually, if I recall correctly, you can actually take the wall out of that. Because the weapon X launches you so much, so that the FRC jump PPP will have so much momentum, it takes the opponent to the wall and then breaks. It's quite amazing, actually. Right, the basic lockdown. Yeah. Civ is just hard committed into just taking that DP afterwards. If you notice your opponent is not comfortable locking enough after those set play situations, Ooh, this time. Oh, there's the layer too. So here's the thing. If Civ is... Oh, there we go. Saw the burst up because they were in back turn stance. Was able to unleash the D afterwards. Now through the wall we go. Couple of options that could happen. 50 meter on Civ, but goes for the meaty Berserker Slash. The one situation that you cannot throw. Because, you know, it is quite meaty there. You just don't have the frames. Ooh, I'm surprised. Slow instant air dash for Leo allows Civ to actually recover in time and 5P Leo out of the air. Here we go. The guard crash once again. Ooh, goes for a metered mix-up. Drops the combo though, unfortunately. Gold burst, still safe. And even after all of that, hustle, Civ was primed and ready to react to that Berserker Slash. Amazing. It's kind of... It's really amazing when there hasn't been a Berserker Slash reset attempt in like 10 minutes, and then you're still waiting for it. Always. 6P. What are you gonna represent? Oh, the instant air dash is not the tool to represent against the 6P spam for sure. Oh, but now MisterPanda goes low. Spends the 50 meter to get them to the wall, so that means we're not gonna have 50 to break it. But now the positive bonus is gonna... Oh, I think that's the first parry stance RPS initiated during the set. But I think it's probably because of Ram's 2S, is it? Because it reaches so far and hits low. If I'm not mistaken, that MisterPanda hasn't been comfortable necessarily using the whatchamacallit, the parry stance or the guard point stance. I'm not sure what people actually call it nowadays. Let's see what the players are gonna do here. Okay, we are gonna play it out. So let's do a couple of magic tricks. First off, take the players out of the set. We are gonna probably lose one game, but you know, we can take that. It's the first of the event, and it ain't gonna happen again, right? Here's to hoping. But yeah, clean even situation. A lot of different kinds of adjustments as well. MisterPanda started really aggressive, going DP into DP into DP very early on, establishing the sort of mindset that no matter what you do, I am willing to gamble it all. Which is, I think, really important kind of thing to utilize. Like, no matter what sort of tool initiates that RPS, you should remind your opponent that, hey, this tool exists. Because especially at maybe lower levels, even at intermediate levels, hell, even sometimes at like super high levels, people tend to forget. If you don't represent a tool, then they're like, all right, I'm not gonna think about that tool before you show it. Of course, depending on the player, some players might be like, oh shit, I can't do this because... Okay, looks like Civ takes that round or game. Alright, so it's gonna be 3-2 in favor of Civ going forward. but they're, you know, Leo is definitely a character that can utilize all sorts of different kinds of RPS and guessing games a lot, so no matter what type of turn this set takes, it's usually gonna be very interesting. Is the wildest characters. Oh, speaking of wild, luckily MisterPanda did have the burst ready to go, so can bail himself out of at least one failed DP. Successful corner carry and decent amount of damage on the back of that combo as well for Civ. Just dashes forward into nothing, into a throw, because there was nothing out from the opponent. Waits for the DP again. I think Civ is definitely in the right wavelength here, considering the you know, how much all in the opponent wants to go here. And then I think it's on Mr. Oh, I kind of like it because like the second layer is if your opponent is baiting, then you would be pressing button Civ with the double bait, double trouble with chocolate chips on top. We have 50 meters still. The DP comes out, however, because of that guard crush pressure, because of the nature of how the sword tosses work, it puts you really far away from the opponent, so you do have an option to stay extremely safe. You could throw out moves like Ondo as well, the rock, because like you don't have to be anywhere near the opponent to produce hitboxes, right? Once again, dash into nothing, waits for the burst, Civ. Definitely has MisterPanda's number at the moment, and it can be hard if you're a very whatchamacallit, like a hearts type of player, and you play with your instincts. It can be hard to do stuff like modify your burst timings, for instance, or defy your instincts to reversal out of the opponent's pressure. Unless you're sort of very practiced in that kind of arts. Here comes MisterPanda. Now it's time to go on offense. Civ says no. Oh, and again! The niche showing stuff from far. The DPs don't do anything. In fact, the buttons don't do anything at that range either. I guess the other option, like if the ramp player tries to play from too far away, you could try to escape the pressure. See, like throwing a rock takes a lot of frames to start up, which will be usually punished with an instant air dash. So you're jumping forward, you will get a punish against that. Same deal. You might be able to jump out of their pressure if they're not doing anything. A little bit too far to throw this time. But MisterPanda definitely has the right idea if the opponent is respecting too much. Yeah, there we go. Backdash out of it. Exit the situation. That's what I would do as well. The solution doesn't necessarily have to be press buttons every single time, even though that is perhaps the most lucrative option. You know, take your own turn. That's a very realistic reward that you can take against an opponent that is too scared of your DP. However, the frequency and the timing of the baits have been pretty damn good for Civ so far. Very keen sense on where those baits need to come online. Escaping the corner, nice chase there from by MisterPanda. Like we said, even though your opponent gets out of the corner with the instant air dash, make sure that they pay for that instant air dash. Make sure they pay for that exit. Right, they should pull Civ back onto the ground with a considerable amount of plus frames. The Civ spends meter for meter. Wire C, get out of there. Sword on the ground. I think that's, which sword is that? I forgot. I always forgot which one is which. The back sword is S, right? I'm just taking 50-50 gamble. Chance to be right for the commentator, 50-50. This is how much, even though I've played Ramlethal in the past, I still can't remember which one is which. There we go, look at that! Again, there is no reasoning against Civ with that Berserker Slash. The SDP is successful, however, follows it up with a Berserker Slash. No matter the situation, gets a Far Slash, unfortunately, which is definitely not the starter that Civ wanted. Ooh, the air type 2K, however, gets bounced out of there Berserker slash lands from the front, which unfortunately is quite minus. I think even punishable if it doesn't cross the opponent up. Which is why MisterPanda did have to spend 50 meter on that. Overhead blocked successfully, blocking everything. Finally, what broke the sequence is Civ's YRC, and now here comes MisterPanda again. Slides through the corpse of the opponent, or rather soon-to-be corpse. Going for the jungle drum mix-ups. Those are the most beautiful things. You're kind of like, is he gonna jump or rather, is he gonna dash over? Is he not gonna dash over? Which side? What timing? What country? What currency? With a basic combo, fairly hard-hitting one as well. And here comes the wires, sorry, the Wild Assault conversion. FRC into, or I guess that was meant to be an FRC of some sort, but Civ chose to just respect out of it. Maybe that was a DP bait. I mean, who knows? If I'm guessing there usually is a gap between like normals into sword toss, right? So to be safe against that, you like if you really want to throw the sword, you would have to RC, right? Right, Civ gets out of the corner, bursts MisterPanda into the corner, both swords on the ground, procures one of them. And Mortabato secures a hard knockdown. Then Ramlethal, I think Ram has access to a 9-frame save jump, which would be a reason why Civ went for the instant air dash there. And again, being a multi-hitter move as well, that seems like really useful. Ooh, trying to go for some sort of hard bait. However, no reaction from the opponent. Opponent gets mixed up as well. Big damage. Looking like MisterPanda might... Oh, but the trade. I mean, that would have still prompted Civ to have to use burst immediately, which would have put MisterPanda actually in a precarious position because he was really low in health, so there was probably no way he would be able to utilize his blue burst anymore. Although, even if you can't... Oh, this time nice read! For the first time, MisterPanda reads a burst from the burst master reader herself, Civ. Let's see if that's gonna be enough. Civ tries to raise the burst. Hard commits into it as well. Is it coming? No, it's not. But you know what's coming. Freight train is coming. Through the wall we go. The heart is trying to, or the heart is shining through from MisterPanda's chest. Oh my god, definitely. 2D. Let's check if the opponent is ready to punish. No? Get the DP there. A very classic Leo RPS. Yeah, it's gonna be a punish to S into MisterPanda. Seems to be revving up, and this is definitely the time to be doing so because Civ is technically on a very close reach here in terms of the round victory. Again, so ready to react to that Berserker slash. Ooh, but MisterPanda finding the gap there. And I guess that could be sort of a missing link between always missing your SDP, because SDP has very limited horizontal range, but this super definitely does not lack any horizontal range whatsoever. Ah, here comes the DP bait. Ooh, a very small one, doesn't get the clean punish. And there we go! Exploiting the expectations. You're not gonna do your okay. I'll press 2K. And on a long set like this, there's just so many more opportunities for letting that RPS sort of just cook, slow cook. If this was like an FT3 tournament set, Civ would have like finished MisterPanda after all of those great DP reads like long ago. But now MisterPanda is finding definitely more layers for playing that RPS, for exploiting those expectations. But we are back at neutral. We need to find those hits. Civ finds a good one. Is that a kill? Fly Swatter, get the kill. Set point position, Civ. once again, can't really punish that. Civ tried to dash forward with the 5k, which would, I think, call out immediate buttons from Leo. But Leo, of course, can choose to, you know, parry instantly out of that, or backdash out, or a lot of other kind of stuff. In the throw range there, really? Lots of plus frames, but again, not close enough to make it airtight. Here comes perhaps the last offense for Mr. Panda. Needs to be able to make something out of this. Very close to the blue burst as well. Will probably have to commit to it, unless Civ drops the combo. Big value potentially here. The last one tried to still rely on the Berserker Slash. I shit you not. Civ did not let any Berserker Slash fly that set. Every single reset thrown. The only one that wasn't thrown was the from the whatchamacallit, from the wall break, because there is no throwing that one. You can set it up as a meaty enough so that there is no getting any throws. Unbelievable. And not even one slipped by Civ that time. We were talking about the, you know, the jump in RPS, like during the first set of today, where I was about to make a point that you could keep jumping if the opponent doesn't anti-air you often enough, because their anti-air combo ain't gonna do as much damage as your jumping combo. But what if the opponent just never misses their anti-air? What if the opponent never misses their throw on that Berserker Slash? It takes it like, you gotta trust your opponent. You gotta, in a way, respect your opponent. If you see them never miss the counterplay, then they're just, maybe they're cracked. Maybe they never miss their counterplay. You just gotta believe it. Actually, let me, so we needed Icarus's tears here. They're definitely prepared and everything. Let me get here this one. And then hopefully make it fit. Okay. Maybe move Icarus's name as well, so that it doesn't look so scuffed. Is that good? That looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, preparation's ready. What else do I need here? I need to know where Icarus and Thunder Kitty wanna get there. Okay, so the players did negotiate that they are not actually gonna let their mains fly. So if Icarus gets Nago, it's gonna be nullified immediately, and same for Kitty. If she gets Johnny, it will be nullified immediately. Yeah, one last thing. Where should we... So Maria is okay from stream chat. Post here? Okay. Okay, so we... Okay. Let's do first roll for Icarus. So Leo will be the first one. Icarus and then Kitty. Give me a second. I'm very ill prepared for this time. And then Kitty will be Kai. And then let's fix the score. Board. And actually do like a template for myself that I can paste this on a moment's notice. Okay, so Icarus got Leo. Where is Leo on the power ranks? It is somewhere in the middle. And for Kitty, Kai is... Where is Kai? Kai, the king himself, where are you? It's in the basic tier, basics tier as well. All right.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting...
So starting out with very tame kind of options in the middle of the road. Not really your best characters, but not the worst characters either. And of course, these players have chosen to not only remove duplicates from the random pool, but also remove their mains. So we're not gonna get free, quotations free points from the mains of either of the players. All right, with the Berserker Slash, unlike previous sets, when you're not necessarily primed to play against one particular characters, resets like that might fly a little bit more easily. So stuff like, you know, going for a Berserker Slash reset, going for a grenade reset, going for heavy Dolphin reset, stuff like that will probably fly a little bit more in a match like this. Ooh, nice hit confirm, one hit confirm, albeit counter hit, so very hit conformable for sure, because you know, Guilty Gear Strive has that massive hit stop of the Kusodeka counter. BB out of there. Maria hits Berserker Slash on the front, which is a little bit unsafe. This is the, what is it, Turbulence hit. And he takes Kitty, hit from Kitty takes Maria out of the stance. What's the Oki? Probably was looking for the close slash timing. There's that bait! Do we get a punish that does enough? I mean, reset into a flip kick. You would need to have a launch into too heavy into flip kick to make it work, but no worries. We can work with this. Ooh, backdash, sees the back turn D. Gets a big punish, or big-ish. Ooh, Stun Dipper fast enough. We'll be able to call out the fireball. And again, the far slash striking distance has been basically the strategy for Kitty with this Kai, which it probably should be. Stay at your best distance, look for whiff punishes, look for openings, and then hit confirm into something very simple. And if that simple thing is just, you know, Stun Dipper, so be it. You need to keep your game plan as simple as possible on a character that you don't actually... Oh! I wonder if Maria was thinking about reflecting that, but the muscle memory just didn't come through. And exiting the stance takes a little bit of time. So Kitty moves one up on this set. Alright, new randoms. Icarus is gonna get... Ooh, is it gonna be easy? Alphalt? So close. Dizzy. Removed from pool. And then Kitty is gonna get... Is it Nago? It's gonna be Nago. So where's Nago for Kitty? Pretty high up there, so... This is basically the best tier, because we've technically removed the mains. This is probably one of the best characters that Kitty could get. And with Icarus getting Dizzy, which is kind of middle of the road, you would usually have to give advantage on this one to the Kitty, right?
Mankind knew that they...
Dizzy also is kind of like a very difficult character to... I mean, technically not difficult execution per se, but she's very neutral-oriented character, and relying on neutral power and just, you know, getting your guesses right at neutral, it's really hard type of archetype to play in Guilty Gear Strive, I want to say. But that 2D reaches from very far away, get the throw. What kind of setup do we have? Take out the fish. Ooh, actually takes out the higher fish. And the wings as well. But Kitty is like, nah, we ain't gonna fuck with that. Just go into Beyblade and break it all. Icarus starting to have a lot of meter here, which probably Kitty recognizes. Slides into that blood-sucking universe. They have a lot of blood to spend. Paced very patiently, though. I wonder if it's like because of the sort of just not being in the zone and not being ready to just pump the blood immediately, but it could also be just, you know, playstyle. Big 6 heavy. It's a 5k in there as well. Very decent amount of damage available for high blood Nagoryuki Guard Crush from the fully charged 6 heavy. However, won't be able to utilize that too much. Super jump into pressure. Actually, the blast hit of / connects. Tried to go for a 5k. The timing wasn't quite right. Gets back thrown for her troubles, but so does Icarus. The idea was to, after activating the wings, maybe be able to, you know, stall for enough time there to make it activate, but it's a huge set play kind of thing, right? When you activate your wings, I think usually you say, I know a path. Ooh, look at that, the momentum from the Beyblade. However, gets once again back thrown. The shimmy attempt in case Thunder Kitty wanted to go for another back throw. I mean, Nago players sometimes would, quotations sometimes, because that throw range is quite something. The grappler throw range, same as Potemkin. Takes Kitty out of the air initially with that spike, but then Kitty follows it up immediately with a Beyblade into a burst, or rather a blood pop. Ooh, this could be good. Ah, but the 2K is faster than the DP. The DP, after all, is what? Is it a 11 frame startup? Something like that. So definitely not a real DP in that sense. Can be beaten in even situations by faster pokes. All right, let's get another roll. Icarus is gonna play with Kai. And Kitty, for the next bout, will get... looks like May. So May for Kitty is in the never really touched tier, so couldn't be worse. And Icarus's Kai is, yeah, you know, kind of high up there. Alright, I think this, for the first time, I mean, we're still only 3 games, or rather 2 games into this set, but for the first time looks like Icarus should have the sort of advantage to come out of this victorious, perhaps. But I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty factors. Even if you sort of self-evaluate your character to have certain amount of power, it's, you know, stuff can happen when you actually enter the field of battle. Stuff will really happen. A lot of stuff will happen. Accidents, happy little accidents, turbo accidents, triple accidents. You know, you play fighting games. Speaking of the accidents, how did the flip kick hit from behind? Okay, I've never really seen that before. It's the kind of things that you only see when people are playing like a character that they don't usually play. When you get situations that are really funky, that don't really occur that much on, you know, people playing their mains. Such as flip kick over your opponent. I mean, I guess that happens fairly often, right? Set up the heavy fireball. The timing was a little wrong. I think you have to delay the heavy fireball just a couple of frames, otherwise it will just go over the opponent's head. Ah, too close. Recognizes it though. And And into the close range. Close slash pressure gets the hit. Not quite finishing the combo successfully. Again, very classic Kai stuff, maybe from previous era. 2K 2D straight into a heavy fireball. Opponent is electrified. Oh my god, 6K hop over that 2K. We playing footsies here. And a jump K intercepting out of the sky. I mean, May, even though Kitty said, May, I've never even touched this damn character. This character has some really great potential by just using good buttons. I mean, even if you've never played May, you know that 5 heavy is good. You know that, jumping in is pretty good with her. And stuff like that. And I mean, there's Dalton as well. But, if you're not accustomed to charging, and you don't generally play charge characters, it could be a little daunting. Ooh, nice backdash into a throw. However, the life disadvantage is massive here. Kitty will have to work super hard. And Icarus only needs 1 DP. Which is what she gets in the end. Right, next roll. For the next bout, Icarus is gonna sail. Ooh, okay, that's gonna be a reroll. So Icarus gets the main, which will be nullified as per the player's requests. That is null and void. But we'll instead get Happy Chaos. And Kitty. Is it Sin? Is it Soul? Looks like it's gonna be Soul. Alright, Soul for Kitty is... Where is it? It is in the basics category. And Chaos for Icarus. I would... if I had to take a guess, it's probably somewhere close to the bottom, and it is indeed, very understandable when it's a more technical character like this, unless those technical characters really call out to you, like Happy Chaos, Zato, that kind of junk. It's probably likely that you're not gonna invest a lot of time in those. It's also like the amount of dopamine you can get per your time investment. Oh, however, do we got some sort of pressure here? The Happy Chaos stuff? Ooh, Thunder Kitty catching with a far slash. Went into the 5 heavy as well. And in the modern patches, catching the opponent with that far slash when they are airborne has been made slightly easier to combo. Yeah, good punish there, recognizing that the second hit of Bandit Revolver usually not very good unless combined with RC. Player spending meter. However, Icarus has a little bit extra here. Doesn't quite manage to time her sequence successfully, and this is exactly what I would probably do as well. If I know somebody is playing a technical character that they're not used to, that requires very precise buttons, timings, and stuff like that. Like, for example, yeah, exactly. You can see Kitty pressing a lot of buttons here, and it's very... I would press as well, because the opponent has to get their timing so well. Beat them like perfectly in order to make those block strings like not mashable. Ooh, this is a reversal I haven't seen very often. And Icarus runs head straight into it. From that distance, it's probably kind of hard to whiff punish as well, because the second hit of Tyrant Brave comes out slightly faster if it like doesn't connect with anything in terms of like real time, because there is no, what do you call it? Time. What is the time stop called? Hit stop. That's the thing. That is the thing. Oh, tried to chase there. Well, Thunder Kitty had the right idea that if you think your Happy Chaos opponent will backdash or throw the orb at round start, you need to chase. And does it again. However, Icarus gets a successful shot out just in time. Reload the gun. staying in the what is it called? The steady aim stance. It's actually a very considerable amount of your concentration at a very fast rapid pace. I think that's probably one of the reasons why like zoning Happy Chaos is not really a thing anymore, because like look at how fast it drains your concentration. Like you can take like 1, 2, maybe 3 shots until you run out. It didn't really used to be so, but this is a nail biter. It's a reload, punish, RC, make sure that anything that you do will at least combo into something. I mean, I wouldn't know. Like, generally, Happy Chaos's combos like don't go into much unless you have the perfect timings of, you know, taking out the gun, comboing into it, working in tandem with your heavy buttons, and stuff like that. If you want to get something slightly easier, I guess you would have to RC, right? So Icarus is gonna get Testament for the next one, and Kitty will work with Testament as well. Testament mirror, real Testament. Oh my goodness! Now that's what I call a good match. Both players have Testament rather low, but here's the thing, Testament is like relatively simple kind of a character to pick up and play if you want to play like just a surface level layer 1. You could feasibly just, you know, if you know the loop, throw Grave Reaper, throw Crow, strike, rinse, repeat. If you have that kind of mindset down, you could feasibly, you know, just play fairly okay kind of Testament, especially since you are against the Testament as well. Speaking of this matchup, this mirror is a slightly interesting one because Testament themselves can interrupt with your layer 1 game plan fairly easily because of Arbiter Sign. Arbiter Sign will basically reach the opponent faster than any of your other fireballs ever will. Oh. I tended to go for a little bit of a Wild Assault combo there. Speaking of Arbiter Sign, high-low. Are you ready for this? The annoying thing is, like, even if you can deal with a tool on your main, the reason why you can is because you're confident that you have a follow-up afterwards. You have a follow-through. But if you're playing a new character, even if you block something, you might not be sure, like, what can I even do if I block? Like, if I successfully clear a situation, what do I even do? What do I even get for doing that? Ooh, jumps over the neutral Crow. Ooh, but here's another thing that you really gotta know about Testament. If you have the stain applied, you never cancel into anything. Because everything, even on block, very plus, on hit, basically an RC combo. Which is, of course, like, if you don't play Testament very often, you are not gonna have in your muscle memory. There we go, Arbiter Sign. Prevents any of the fireballs for... which one was it? For Icarus going through. So this is Kitty taking the round here. So Kitty is playing the purple one. Both going for a 6 heavy Hail Mary. Oh, Kitty goes for it again. A little bit of a taunt there. It's like, I got this. I got this Testament by the side. Break the wall. Massive life lead for Kitty. As well as 50. Oh, nice! Sees the throw. Will be able to shimmy it. Is that a shimmy if you already know that the throw is coming? Ooh, but that was a nice move. An instant air dash over the Arbiter Sign. One of the best ways to make Arbiter Sign with is to try to move forward fast enough. But that ain't gonna save Icarus this time. Because Kitty takes the Testament mirror. For the next one, Icarus will get May. Alright, time for May. On this side of the stage. And then Kitty will rock with, is it Axel? Not quite yet. Baiken. So bike it for Kitty. Slightly higher than basics. May for Icarus is at the bottom of the barrel. So once again, Kitty has a little bit like takes the luck of the draw, if you want to put it on the RNG odds.
Duel 1.
But I mean, you know, like a tier or a couple difference usually doesn't make too much of a difference unless you're actually playing like a character that you're super confident with. A Kitty wanting to keep the corner position. Totsugeki gets a counter hit into a throw. Oh, the delay there! Plays the RPS as well. Kitty was going for a red parry, but because Icarus was delaying her block string or her Gatling string, was able to get a counter hit between those hits. And again, the delay! The manual delay! Here comes the reversal throw. He's gonna sweep that 2K meaty. Under the rock. As his Kitty had... Oh, nice recognition there. That the 100 meter was basically the stealing touch of that round. Ooh, we'll be able to parry reversal this time. Trying to intercept with the most classic instant air dash jump slash manner. And May is a character who is, oh, nice. Taking the burst from Icarus, and that should, no, not quite yet. May, with literally one hit point, is gonna fly head straight into that super flash, fast 9-frame far slash from our one-handed samurai. Right, the pool is growing somewhat smaller. And remember, duplicates do not exist. Icarus will get Johnny for this one. And Kitty. Getting the main from the opponent is, of course, a legal roll. Ooh, Gold Louis for Kitty. Where is Johnny on Icarus's tiers? Towards the bottom, so not that great, but Gold Louis sharing the same conundrum for Kitty. Just, you know, not one of the best characters for sure. Which one of these characters is easier to pick up and play, though? Both are, you know, I'm gonna be honest, kind of technical. I think Gold Louis because of the strange input methods. Like, if you've never inputted Behemoth Typhoons, it's gonna feel a little weird. And of course, like, you're like watching somebody else play and use their special moves, you can kind of grasp what those special moves do. But Behemoth Typhoon is like, what? Like, how many? Like 8 different things? Or what? Nah, I'm not sure. And you might be like, all right, which one of these does what? But in the same way, is like Johnny is about a lot of combo execution as well, and then set play after those combos. Ooh, deals, or a walk deals straight into the White Wild Assault. If you know nothing about your character, and your character has White Wild Assault, at least you can ram at your opponent and try to catch them doing stuff. And I mean, there is the fact that, you know, jump D is a really good button though. 6B? Yeah, even when Icarus was ready, he kind of traded. But that's not really an optimal trade in terms of like damage taken and damage received. Sorry, damage dealt and damage received. Oh, into. Oh, was able to convert it into a cross up. Got them off guard, spend all. Yep. Wait, why does that? Huh? Why does that wall break? Did Kitty not have full? I guess Kitty didn't have full security there to start that sequence with. Otherwise that would break, right? Maybe? Do I know anything about Gold Lewis? Either way, Kitty makes it 3 points even. Time to roll for more. Icarus will get, speaking of those technical characters, Zato. And that Zato is surprisingly, wait, it's not at the most bottom tier? Kitty will get Leo. Where is Zato on? Wait, is it really high? It's actually pretty high. Are you kidding me? Maria has... Oh, I should know, because I've seen Maria play Zato on Bounty Hunters. I should know. I should know. And Kitty's Leo is... Where is it? It's kind of in the middle column, the basics.
Duel 1.
But, you know, I would say a basic bitch Leo can probably, like, do surprisingly decent amount of stuff if your sequences are not on point on a very highly technical character like Zato. But, let's see. Tried to get an unsummoned there, but unfortunately didn't seem like Icarus was getting a lot of refund value from that. Or wait, that was not an unsummon, that was clap. It's actually funny when you got really calm music like this, you can actually hear the clap of the one. Oh, nice! I like that. Actually, getting a little bit of extra, kind of like a knowledge check. Can you, like, if Kai RTLs you to the corner, do you know how to get a side swap there? Kind of same type of beat for Icarus. Late save, 5D, make sure that it yields, because you only needed one more hit. That's great choice there for Icarus. Opponent didn't even have any burst available, so it was just guaranteed at that point. Dash 2P, get rid of the puppet, so now Icarus will have to play solo for a little while. So Blue Wild Assault is a great proposition for wasting time, among others. Here's the summon. Burst from Thunder, Kitty. However, the burst came out around like halfway point of the puppet gauge, so Icarus didn't have to wait for too long to get that recovery. Now once again, 4 more seconds to play solo. Goes for a jump D. Or wait, is that 6 heavy? I think that's 6 heavy actually. And a perfect spacing with that 2K. Plays surprisingly decent amount of time on just the main body. But I mean, I guess if you are a Zato main, or if you are a seasoned Zato player, you have to know how to play solo. You have to be comfortable just existing alone without your better half. So Icarus is gonna get Biken for next one. And Kitty is gonna be running with Milia, huh? So Milia is rather high for a Kitty, whereas Biken kind of in the basics category for Icarus. So once again, it feels like, oh, I think wait, I forgot to put point in one of the players, right? Shit. Wait, who won the previous one? It was Icarus, right? Yeah. Icarus won the previous one. Yeah, 4-3. Yeah. Good. Gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, I had to go back and look at the previous draw results to remember what match we just watched in the first place. But yeah, technically stacks are, or odds are stacked against Icarus again, if the power tiers are to be trusted. But are they? I kind of like that. Went for a Mirage command dash in order to call out the red parry. Both players actually, it's surprising, like the layer 1 going into the matchups against Biken have been like trying to just counterplay the red parry. Nice. The blue Wild Assault guarantee is getting the Kabare attached. It's another very tricky thing to control though, unless you're a very occasional Viking player. Ooh, is he gonna recover? Is the Mirage gonna recover in time? No, it's not. And in fact, Icarus had basically the same idea as, or same sequence as Kitty in one of the previous games. Reversal with the super, if it hits, RC, get a couple of extra hits, and the opponent, who is paper, mind you, will go down like a sack of something. Ooh, jump cancel into, was that supposed to be maybe TK bad mode that I spy? Set up once again, waiting potentially for the reversal. Not coming out just yet. Kitty with a decent life lead this time around, calls out the reversal parry with a delayed air dash over jump heavy from the backside. Definitely a match that you don't want to drop. If you can only draw into your super strong characters once, if there are no duplicates for a random select match, you want to make sure that those highest hitting character, your best characters, are gonna yield and are gonna bring the W home for you. Like, who else can you trust to be the workhorse for your team, right? And now Icarus. Tried to go for the follow-up, but Kitty was hitting about it already. Reversal parry does a lot of damage, though. Icarus could maybe steal this still with a couple of really good combos. Maybe even just one. However, with the slick movements, Thunder Kitty goes under. The TK bad mood will be parried. One more parry could be the kill, but... What is that called? I was about to say the Chroming Rose, but that's not it. That's, Oh my god, am I this kind of a boomer? Am I this bad of a boomer? I can't even remember the name of that move. Shit. I'm cooked. Alright, next one. Icarus will get the Jacko, whereas Kitty will rock with be Ino. Looks like it's gonna be Ino. So Ino for Kitty is... Yep, at the bottom. Also, like, not the most technical character, but rather technical. But same kind of fate for Jacko, I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacko was... Yeah, it's actually pretty low on Icarus's list as well. So both players heading into the field of battle with characters that they're not very comfortable with. But which one of these characters is easier to draw value out of? I'm not actually sure. Because both have like very awkward, non-standard mechanics, such as, I mean, the one that Kitty is sort of showcasing here, the float dash. You just don't have regular type of movement on Ino. But on the other hand, you can't really play Jacko very easily without her minions. So it's like, where's the minion command? How do you take it out? How do you command them? What do you do? But to compensate that, you could say just, all right, fuck it. I'm not gonna try to find the special moves. So I'll just not interact with the minions at all. I'll just play solo. It would maybe be feasible for, like, if you random into Zato, and you, ooh, found a good button though. Those heavy buttons are really good counter pokes. And especially since if Icarus is choosing to go the Unga style, the aggressive style, and just play single body Jacko, then you probably want to produce buttons that protect the space ahead of you, such as 5 heavy or 2 heavy for Ino. But out of which Thunder Kitty has found the 5 heavy. The back throw. Set up. Oh, set up into another 5 heavy. I think Kitty might be blocking here. No, did give some sort of an input there. So lots of damage coming in from that move. Stroke the big tree is a good button. But no problem, we're going under! Kitty, a little bit of a combo. Ooh, we got that stuff. Here's the counter, broke for 5 heavy again, pressing the right buttons. But unfortunately, the life lead was already a little bit too heavy there in favor of Icarus. Oh, we found the button. We took out minions. Yo, power level threefold. Of course, you know, it's very natural wanting to press that minion command immediately as you know, kind of register that that's a thing. And it's very easy to run out of the minion gate super fast. Ooh, great interruption there. But also great anti-air there by Icarus. Shooting the minion. Here comes Stroke the big tree. What are we gonna do? 5D into, doesn't quite combo into 6 heavy there. Trades are very precarious for Kitty at this point. Stroke the big tree goes indeed very, very below. Aha, but the control on the float dash. If you press it too much, you're gonna fire yourself into the stratosphere, which is kind of what happened with Kitty here, I think. So Icarus takes the bottom barrel matchup here. And at this point, so we're 9 characters deep. We're starting to reach the point where half of the cast has been actually removed. So Icarus is gonna have Abba for the next one. And Kitty. Let me actually take myself out of that. Kitty is gonna be running, oh, is it? It is a very fun matchup indeed, but for who? I guess we'll find out. Abba versus Chip. So I think I remember Icarus playing Abba before, and that would be correct. For Abba is fairly high in the power tiers. What about Chip? Chip is rather low though. So luck of the draw once again. Or not once again necessarily, but at the most crucial of timings, favoring Icarus as we're heading into the endgame matches of our random character select match. The Leaf Crab, we're opening them up. What next? Cool thing about Chip is that... Damn, I have the hiccups. I'm so sorry. Controlling Chip is not the hardest in Guilty Gear Strive. He was kind of tricky in the previous iterations of the franchise when... God damn it. Why do you give me hiccups right now? But Chip plays kind of like a very standard character in Guilty Gear Strive, believe it or not. But here comes Maria with the mix-up, low into high. Kitty says no, I don't wanna try to block that, especially at this low of health points. OTG is not available. Kitty was going for it, however, Maria was trying to save herself using Deflect Shield, kinda relying on Kitty actually knowing the melee timing, when Kitty was just trying to get a OTG, I think. At least that's the sort of like a thinking path that I would have taken there. Right, back throw into, we can activate. Ooh, but the timing of the melee is off. And now this is the worst that can happen to you as Abba player. That was actually kind of slick, running up the wall and purposely wasting time, and then landing next to Icarus just when the jelly is about to pop. Ooh, Kitty still with an advantage in terms of life. Is Kitty actually gonna take this with a rather successful combo? In matchups like this, it's not about doing your maximum damage, it's about consistently doing some amount of damage. The OTG is not there still, but special moves deal chip damage. Yes, indeed, special moves deal chip damage. Chip damage, get it! This is actually a big upset for Kitty, who had, you know... Oh, score is 5-5? So, wait, this is Kitty... 6-5? 6-5 now? Okay. 5 or 5-6 rather. Right, I believe you. Thank you. I'm too deep into in the sauce at this point. That is very relevant. So that means Kitty just took out one of Maria's better characters with a character that was not supposed to be very strong. Now Icarus will go into the next match with Milia. Where is that Milia in the power tiers? Kind of basic bitch tier, as we say. And Kitty is gonna get the technical character here, Zato. Which is... Yeah, does Kitty actually play Zato? Real? Where is it? I can't find it. Oh, it's there. It's in the not confident tier. So not the first time piloting it, but yeah, not the best either. Where was the mid? So basic tier versus the not confident tier. Okay, so this is a rather, I guess, hard to predict the outcome based on the power tiers kind of a match.
Duel 1.
Now, big question here is Kitty gonna actually attempt to interact with the puppet? Or are we gonna play solo? I'm gonna be honest, if I was in this position, I would probably just play solo Zato. For the most part. Or you could also, another option you could do is do the summons in bursts. So don't attempt to like preserve them or anything. Just do like the best summon thing that you know you could do. And then just go solo again. Ooh, didn't have enough time there to anti-air there, Icarus. It's expected the puppet gauge does burn out. Now, where's the opening gonna come from? Wild Assault hit confirmed doesn't quite sync for Icarus. Very minus out of that hair car, but spaced as it is, very hard to punish. Runs in for a throw. Icarus really needs this, and is probably gonna get it as well. This is, oh, that's a punishable distance, and knows to pick up with close slash instead. Great presence of mind for Kitty. A lot of these times when we get like punishes, we might not go for the optimal ones. We might do like 2P 2P or 2K 2D or 2K 2D or whatever. But Kitty actually attempted to go for a maximum punish there. To the other side, nice block. Wire C, keep you in the corner. What's next? I mean, if nothing else, you can play strike throw. Although, is Zato one of the characters who has minus on block close slash? I think so, right? There are a couple of those. I know Faust is one, but I forgot if Zato is one. Back throw into. Winger will take care of the close slash. No strike throw for you, ma'am. So that means we're gonna move on to the last decisive round next. 6-6. This will probably be the most important random. There's been a lot of random factor before this, but it all comes down to this. This is the moment when you want to draw into some of those top aligning characters in your chart. For Icarus, it's gonna be Pot, which is... Where's Pot? Kinda high-ish. Pot Mirror is gonna be the one that decides the whole fucking thing. Where is Potemkin for Kitty? Basics. Alright. Okay, kinda even-ish. Who's better at breaking backs? This is the best moment to be playing Potemkin ever in the history of Guilty Gear Strive. Which one of these players knows how to exploit the new good stuff the best? The funny thing is this mirror match is also considered kind of funky in that whichever Potemkin tries to do armor last will usually win. So Kitty is the red Potemkin in the FAB color, if you will. OGs will know. And Icarus rocking the denim color. Oh yeah, knows that's gonna be a punish even on air hit. or air block rather. We got B&B combos, alright, lots of damage coming through. And then, engaging, oh, but didn't know, maybe didn't have the timing down for breaking in plus frame distance. But Thunder Kitty definitely had a close range, yeah, close slash punish. Whenever that heat tackle is blocked, you're gonna get a big damage opportunity from your best starter. Nice, ready to check there. Ooh, collided, wait, how? Collided with the okay. Stop. The Wild Assault into the Buster. Looking pretty good so far for Kitty. However, Icarus with a very important back throw. And then combine it with the burst to keep the opponent in the corner as well. How are we fighting for this distance? We're close enough. We see the frames and the gun has not progressed deep enough into the frames. Thunder Kitty though, straight into the Potemkin Buster. Is that gonna be enough? No, Potemkin is, oh wait, is it? It actually is. So the final Luigi, both players, equal amount of burst, heading into this very last set of our random selection match. Punished with the 2K2D. I'm not sure if you can get anything better on Potemkin. Maybe Buster actually. Footsies, mannen, leg inte, use that 2D. Lots of range. Mega Fist to punish Mega Fist. Ooh, tried to be a little bit too greedy there, going for the Buster. Who's gonna Buster who though? Backdash 2K2D, small stuff, especially on heavy defense character like Potemkin, drifting out of there in order to avoid getting punished. And now the RPS 5P, the Ps are not very damaging either. Both players would love to get a Buster, but how do we get into that Bustering distance? Or do we just forsake that Buster game plan and swing with those heavies like Maria was trying to swing there? You're in the mix with Garuda Impact. And again, for Maria, one hit is all that it takes. Kitty fires the burst. This is becoming basically a dive kick battle. Is that enough? OTG? Not even OTG, the counter hit launch from the 2D gets enough. Lounge and Kitty takes it in a Potemkin mirror. After all of that, Potemkin mirror is what decides it, and Kitty comes out of this random selection match victorious. I'm actually kind of happy that we got two mirrors during this. The Testament mirror, which was kind of entertaining, and then the Grappler mirror. Wow. It is, in one way or another, that ended up being one of the closest. I guess, like, this would be, wait, have we had any other random selection matches going down to the wire? I think we had at least one, but it's safe to say that this has been one of the most even random selection matches of Bounty Hunters history. Oof, okay. Funny enough, even though we had some difficulties with the early slot matches, it still ended up going like past 9. This was a pretty cursed Bounty Hunters to start out with, but you know, we revved up the engine and I got there in the end. Okay, well, it has been an evening. Has been an evening for sure. Let's see what's available on twitch.tv. The gender cross-up is online. We might rate that. In fact, I am pretty sure that we are gonna rate that. So I want to, with the little bit of voice that I have left, thank you all once again for watching. Has been a very intriguing, very interesting, very unique kind of Bounty Hunters experience once again. Was a blast to cast. Hope it was fun to watch as well. If you want to participate in the next week's Bounty Hunters, we run this every Sunday, 5 p.m. CET, Central European Time. I'm guessing time zone switch is gonna hit soon, so we're switching to Central European Standard Time. But not sure quite when. Anyway, if you want to join, best way is to join my Discord, where the sign-up forms are going to be posted. We'll match you up with, hopefully, a player you have good connection to and who is of the same skill level as you. But that'll be all from us for tonight. I'm going to send you guys over to Gender Cross-Up. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next Sunday. Same stuff. Never miss an event. And yeah, good night. Have a great start of your next week. All of that. Play Guilty Gear, yada yada yada. See you next time. Bye bye.